On August 2nd, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, on Banter with RichiebB, guest Daniel Benoit joins the podcast. He searches the woods, and what he has found will challenge everything you think you know about Bigfoot. Author of 3 books and founder of the East Coast Bigfoot Research Organization. And now he's bringing his insight to Banter with RichiebB with never-before-heard stories and a sneak peek at the 2026 film, The Last Footprint. Daniel Benoit, August 2nd at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only on Banter with RichiebB.
When I go out to the woods to go camping, I'm there because it feels like home. I love exploring nature to see what nature has to offer.
Good morning. Welcome to Banter with RichiebB Live.
Somewhere beyond the beaten path, beyond the whispers in the woods and the stories around the fire, lurks one of the greatest mysteries of our time, Bigfoot. For decades, legends have echoed through the forests, footprints left behind, sightings that defy logic, and questions that demand answers. But this isn't just folklore. This is a call to investigate, to explore, and to uncover the truth. Banter with RichiebB isn't just another show. It's a community, a movement, a hub for genuine research, real conversations, and boots-on-the-ground discovery. Every episode dives deep into evidence, expert interviews, field investigations, and the drive to seek what others say is impossible. If you believe in asking questions, if you're ready to get your boots dirty, and if you think the unknown deserves more than just a passing glance, then follow Banter with RichiebB. Stay informed, stay sharp, and maybe, just maybe, be the one who finds the truth hiding in the trees.
I love you, baby Jack. I want you guys to keep climbing. I love you, Mama. Bojo's gonna get us out of here because that's what he does.
That's right. Nice meeting you all. Thank you for being on here. And yes, we are home of the poem. Let's go.
Good morning. Welcome to Banter with RichiebB Live.
Near these huts,
Yep.
there's something going on here.
Behind us after. The trees were fucking moving everywhere. Yeah, bro. Goosebumps.
Maddox, you were with me. We looked this way. It was not like this.
Welcome to Banter with RichiebB. Yo, what's up, everybody? Oh, yeah, that's right. He's back. Yeah, we've seen it for a while. Oh, I'm live. Look at that. Say hi, Wojo.
Hi, Wojo.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Banter with RichiebB Live. Good to see you. Good to see you. Oh, I tell you, my fingers are all... Yeah, you see that weird thing? It was like 3 boxes or something, all opening up, and then I put up the wrong promo like an idiot. I just, whatever, dude. Some days it's just a Monday. Today was not a Monday, by the way. If you were with us live in the woods today on our YouTube live events, today was really cool. They're all really a lot of fun, and we discover a lot of things, and today was amazing to watch the evolution of the gifting chair a little further, just the different things that Wojo's coming up with, the different ideas that he's having. He's talking to people. He's talking to other researchers, all that stuff. So really awesome stuff, man. I'm super pumped with what's happening. You know what I mean? He actually sent in because when we were out by the Farley, we had that like tree push sound, like a tree knock or whatever it was today. Well, he's got that on his phone, which is always on his shoulder. It's really awesome. So I uploaded that to Google Drive, and we might check that out. And but the real deal here tonight is, first of all, we are live all around the world. And we also are on Dark Realm TV on every Roku television worldwide and every Amazon Fire Stick worldwide. We upload all our recordings to iHeart, Apple, Amazon, Spotify, everywhere that you can get a podcast. Trust me, Bobby Lee made sure we got there, no doubt about it. So we're also on YouTube and Facebook right now. If you're on my personal Facebook page, I'll go over and check that out and see how it's acting tonight. You know, sometimes I can see your comments, sometimes I cannot. Right now I'm looking and all I see is YouTube comments in my Restream studio. So I will jump back and forth and see. If you do have a YouTube, jump over to YouTube, please. Like, subscribe, and hit the notify button so you know when we are live. My BanterWithRichieB page is generally public, but again, all I'm seeing is YouTube comments at this time. So tonight, as you know, we have Daniel Benoit with us. Huge fan of his. I love his work. I love his boots on the ground approach. We're gonna get into the mind of him a little bit and find out, you know, where his research style comes from, and where he wants it to go, type of deal. You know what I mean? So right now, let's get our co-host Wojo in here. We're going to say hi to all our guests on the side, and we're going to take it from there, all right? So let's do it. Where are you, Wojo? I can't find you. Oh, there he is. Oh, looking dapper tonight, Wojo. Hello, Wojo.
What's up? Boom! That's right. Yeah, I got my polo on.
Yeah, you got your polo. Wow, BanterWithRichieB polo, dude. That's awesome, man. You notice that again in the comments tonight? I'm seeing the just the YouTube comments. I can't see the Facebook comments again. Remember we went through this and everything was fine. I don't know what it is. I go into the edit and, you know, I mean, who wants to deal with me looking at this crap right now? You know what I'm saying? So,
well, people should go to YouTube if they want to get some good insight.
Yeah, that.
Some cool and
yeah.
You know, we have a great audience and a great guest. Looking forward to
Mr.
Benoit.
Benoit, you call him Benoit, I'll call him Benoit. That way we cover the name completely. that way we're right all the way through the show and don't screw it all up, right? I noticed our executive producer Bobby Lee's in the background. I don't know if she's pulling up the different links and stuff. And I haven't seen Sparky. Has anyone seen Sparky tonight? Usually Sparky will be popping off those links. You know what I mean? Whoa. And there she is, dude. Yep. There she is. I knew she was working in the background, man. This is our guest tonight, man. If you ever want to find him, inside the mind and writer, documentary filmmaker of Bigfoot. Let's see. Socials. Look at this. Woof. Look how she just got in there. Neat. She had it all in the Google Slides, all neatened up. Hey, Daniel, we got you covered over here on this show, dude. We're not playing around, bro. You know what I mean? Bobby Lee, that's going to be on the side so I can grab it from the side, correct? I don't know. Sometimes she'll pop in and go, yes. You know what I mean? Well, no, it's not on the side. See? Where'd it go?
Now you got to pull it up from the plus sign at the bottom.
Hey, Bobby Lee.
In video storage?
What up, everyone?
Is that
not because it's a presentation, so you're going to do plus presentations.
Oh, that's rude.
I know.
That is rude, man. Oh, there it is. Yeah, but it's right there, though. It's not like I have to go digging for it.
Nope.
Yeah. All right. Well, when we get Daniel in here, we'll go over his socials, and then we'll talk, and then we'll put him back up. And again, I'm having trouble with all I have is YouTube comments in the studio. I don't know what to do with that connection. It was fine last week. There's Sparky right there on a Facebook comment. Yeah, that's wild, man. All right, cool. Outstanding job as usual. Go enjoy your Saturday evening, Miss Executive Producer. Just be on call because Sam isn't around. You know how us cavemen can get around here.
I got you. Have a great show. Hey, everyone.
Hey, everybody. Everybody say hi to Bobby Lee. We love you, Bobby Lee. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. We appreciate you. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Yeah.
That is awesome, man. Love it. Good stuff. What a team we have. We have such a great team, dude. And it's only going to get bigger and better as we go. You know what I mean? And that's the one thing around here too. I notice a lot of shows, and I don't worry about any of that stuff because the beauty of it is the research is always first. You know what I mean? Isn't that cool? Like you don't have any pressure to be worldwide. You know what I mean? You just don't. You just want to get in the woods, man. You just want to discover more things and talk about Bigfoot in different ways. And I don't know. It's that's the way I feel. You know what I mean? Maybe I should be a little more diligent and focus more on that, but the other stuff. But
I'm doing just fine, Rich.
I'm just not there yet, bro. You know what I mean?
No.
I want my high five. That's what I want. I want my 40-foot encounter, my high five, my yo, what's up? You know what I mean? I want him to go, yo, what's up, Richie B? You've been following me. That's kind of weird. Yeah, it's weird. All right, let's say hi to everybody and get Daniel in here because let's see, because that's what we do, I guess. Look at Dennis O. I'm not gonna get used to the Dennis O. No, he's Denny.
Yeah, he's Denny.
Stop that nonsense.
Yeah.
Let's see real quick. Let's see where. Oh, why does it shoot back to the bottom? God, my finger's not working. I want to go. So if you're over on my Facebook, first of all, welcome. Sorry I can't see your comments in the studio. If you're on the Banter RichieB page, I just can't see them. I see one Facebook comment in here, but thank you for being here tonight. Appreciate you. And any complaints, please write to Restream. Thank you. Have a good day. Elder was the first one here. Hello, Elder. Elder Medicine Bear Claw. Check her out on YouTube. Ghost Girl, same thing. Actually, Instagram she likes, and she has some kick-ass merch. So check out her stuff as well, right? Big Andy's here. Sense and Shadow Paranormal. Check him out on all platforms, basically, I think. Except
you out in the woods and you can find his stickers everywhere.
Oh, yeah. By the way, remember I told you lost your sticker, Andy? Yeah, we found a sticker.
Yeah, we found your sticker.
Yeah, we're going to have somebody call you and tell you they were like the park rangers or something. Charge you money and make you send bad pics. Mary Newbert. Let's see. Ghost Girl says, and thank you, Ghost Girl. Everybody tuning in. Be curious, be kind, and most of all, don't be an Asquatch. Respect all voices, stories, and energies. We're here to explore the unknown together. Thank you. Mary Newbert's here. Let's see. Andy again. I love when they all talk to each other. Kurt W. Hey, Kurt W. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. And we'll say hi as people come in. Sparky is here. Shit, sorry I'm late, but I'm here. No, I just didn't know if you were here. Gene Tewksbury, good to see you.
What the hell?
What the hell, Gene Tewksbury?
Tim Vogel, nice to see you.
And Dennis O is here, everyone. Hello, Dennis O. What's up, boys? What's up, everyone? Good. I hope everybody enjoyed the live today on YouTube. That was awesome. Nice. It was kind of quaint, but we still were over 4,000. We're over 4,100 views, viewers or whatever it was today. So, Ohio Bigfoot researchers, Tim, what's up, my man? Good to see you. Oh, there he comes. Yep. Sparky's over here with the links. Any links that you're curious about? Anybody in the audience that you're interested in talking about or meeting or talk, whatever it might be, merchandise. Yeah, he's got the links all on the side. I'll be pulling them up throughout the show. Tim Vogel is here. Hello, Tim Vogel. Awesome. Good to see you. All right. Awesome, man. I'm super stoked to be here, man. I couldn't be more happy to be here. It's got a great night. And next week we planned an in-house show, but I might have a little surprise for you. And then the following week we have Jason Kenzie as our guest. Love Jason Kenzie. We have a great relationship, and he's very complimentary of the show and the work that we're doing. And I always appreciate that coming from fellow researchers. So it means a lot to me, and you guys are researchers, by the way, too. Oh, and D Hoot's here. Watch out. Hey, guys, we got to start meeting like this. People are going to start hell, they're talking. Oh, they're talking already. So I want you guys all to put your hands together for our guest tonight. Dan, are you ready? Just give me a wave so I can see you, buddy. There he is. All right, let's go. Super pumped to have him on the Banter show, folks. Let's do this. Watch these graphics. It's just not fair. I love that green screen. That's great. And now is your whole wall a green screen with that?
It's just through the phone right here. It's a picture I chose off my phone and put it up here as my virtual background. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's why you can kind of disappear into it because it's more.
Yeah, yeah, right. So
yeah, go back into the woods, Daniel, for everybody. Go back into the woods. Back right up, straight up. I already like him. He plays along with my stupidity. Oh boy, here we go. Dude, so good to have you. I am super pumped to have you. Sorry about that promo thing. I messed up. That was my bad.
Oh no, that's no big deal.
I'm trying to review everything. You know what I mean? I'm like, I had it on my phone because I put it up on Facebook beforehand, and I'm like, all right, that's the right one. Boom, and then I was like, automatically thought I did it in here too, but no. Dude, so good to have you, man. I want to know, does he got some chaw going? You got some chaw going?
Yeah.
Some what?
Some chaw? Did someone have chaw going? Little lippy dip? Is that
Oh,
Daniel?
dip, yeah.
Oh, is he? All right. Wojo, hit it. Wojo, hit it. Wojo, we got free reign tonight. We don't have to be polite. Listen. Yeah, the guest is doing it, then we get to do it. That's the rules. You know what I mean?
There you go. I got my Copenhagen. I got Copenhagen.
Really bad habit. Nobody cares. Be quiet, everybody.
That's why I step off the side. I try not to make it too.
Oh, I heard you, bro. I could hear that from a mile away. I was on with Drewski there, Andrew Drewski, and I'm sitting there talking to him, and I'm trying to I put mine away, and I look up, and he's doing this thing, and I go, yo, what's that in your mouth? He goes, oh, that's some chaw, man. I said, oh, okay, I'm in.
Yeah, I got my JBL Bluetooth earbuds. They pick up everything.
Yeah, right. You're done there. So dude, I got a lot to get to with you because I'm kind of a creep because I'm a researcher. I follow, and you're gracious enough to have me on your page and stuff. You probably don't even know I'm there half the time, and I do that. I do it because as you know, we're researchers and we want to see what other people are doing and how they're doing it and. Excuse me. And the number one thing to me is always passion, right? We're passionate. Wojo's passionate. I'm passionate. People on the side are passionate. And it's doing that shit again. And excuse me. So and I watch you and I see how you're passionate. You know what I mean? And you try to fit it into any piece of your life that you can because you got to work for a living. Your grandfather, which a doting grandfather, by the way. You know what I mean? So I think that's great, dude. And like my 14-year-old comes out with me. He's on a lot of my YouTube lives. Max, he's out in the woods with us and he researches and he has an interest into it and he's gotten really good at it. Excuse me. So my thing to you, now you were from Massachusetts, correct?
Originally, yes. Yeah.
Originally, were you real little when you left?
Yeah, I was 11 years old when I moved down to Virginia. So I basically grew up down here in Virginia. Right.
No, I got you. Yeah. And was it Douglas?
Douglas, yep. East Douglas, Mass. Yep.
Yeah. It's funny because I don't research my guests. I always love that organic conversation. You know what I mean? I love it to grow into something, organic.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And so I don't research my guests, but there was a couple of things I did catch. And that was one of them, that you were from Massachusetts. So that's kind of cool because, Massachusetts isn't really talked about when it comes to Sasquatch,
Right.
And it's kind of too bad because Massachusetts has a lot of forestry in it. And people don't realize out west, they have a lot of mountains and, hills and really deep, Russell, Mass and all that area out there. It's crazy, dude. We've been out there. The Vogel brothers?
I'm not sure.
Vogel. Yeah, check them out. The Vogel brothers. Check those guys out, man.
Oh, did you say the Vogel brothers?
Yeah, with a V.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't hear you correctly. Yes, I do know. I never met them in person, but I know who they are. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you were
Tim Vogel, yeah.
And Tim and Eric Vogel. For a minute there, I thought that you were from another planet if you didn't know the Vogel brothers. Those guys are like old school, like, gritty, like in the woods type of dudes. You know what I mean? I love it, and every second they get, they go,
Oh, for sure.
So what
I know Tim's on my Facebook. I see him interacting a lot.
Yeah, he's here now on the side watching. He's a good friend of ours. Eric's good friends of ours. We've done some great research with them guys. And it's just as the kind of guys I like, you know what I mean? Kind of like yourself, in that sense. What woke you up to Sasquatch and how old were you when that happened?
Well, to be honest with you, this whole thing started about a good 15 years ago. And a lot of people ask me, was it a sighting? Was it an experience that started all this? No, it actually was not. A lot of it had to do with the Patterson footage, and then seeing everything that's being involved. Shows started coming out, you see all these different documentaries. And But to back up a little bit, yeah, the Roger Patterson, Bob Gimlin footage was a big part of what got me involved. After seeing that and learning some details behind that and the work that he put into it, it just kind of blew my mind, and it really opened up a world, this big world of curiosity that kind of hit me. And and here I am, somebody that's always outside, and I grew up in the outdoors hunting with Dad when I was a kid, but this year opened up a whole new world to me. I started paying attention to things, becoming more alert, more aware of my surroundings than I ever been before, and and little by little things started to be noticed, that curiosity turned into a passion, and ever since, I mean, I don't want to say I've been full throttle, but it's just I've been steady with it, and it's been very rewarding since I've been involved. And small little projects, came about. Either I was involved with something or me coming up with an idea to start something. And the more I researched and the more I got involved, my thing was, well, I'm not out here just to prove their existence, but I want to learn everything I can about the subject, and anything I learn or anything I have a conclusion of, I want to be able to share that. And my biggest thing is spreading awareness, and when I say spread awareness, I want people to know who I am and what I do. I want to continue to share my views and my opinions on the matter. And as I tell people, when I give a presentation or talk to people, I'm not here to convince you, but consider what I have to say. And if you're a skeptic, consider the possibilities,
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I just want people to consider what I have to share and use that as a tool if they want to start their research. I'm not saying my research is right, because in my opinion, there's no right way or wrong way to conduct research, but you got to be dedicated and willing to go forward with it, So, yeah, I mean, that's the way I look at it.
No, I love it. You sound, and I didn't even know this part of you, but you sound just like us, and that's what we believe in, and we believe in that as what I read in the beginning, just being respectful to one another, treating each other right. Don't shit on each other. There's a lot of shitting on each other, especially like paranormal world. That this stuff, you get to play these stupid games where everybody wants, oh, that ain't what they do, shit like that. Oh, you don't do it like that, and I'm like, oh, why? Have you met one?
Yeah, exactly. Right.
fucking mind blowing. Like I think the other day there was someone said something about, there was a question on the internet about I don't know, something about them, I don't know, being dangerous or whatever, and someone says, yeah, stay away from them when they're giving birth. They're very protective. And I'm like, why, were you there while there was some birthing going on that I didn't know about? How do you know? I don't know that.
Right? If you're eyewitnessing a birth of a Sasquatch, I mean, you're on top of the Holy Grail. Collect the DNA and film it. You know what I mean?
It was just bizarre. I guess it's the 100% answers that kind of go crazy, right? Like we had some wild sounds in the woods one night, and I put it up, and I like to ask like poll question type of things. What is it? What do you guys hear? And somebody will come on and go 100% Bodo. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, well, you weren't there context wise, but that's it. It's end of discussion. We can no longer discuss that any further with you, because that's it for you. And I don't think it does the research any justice. You know what I mean? I don't think it doesn't. I don't think you got to leave many, many avenues open when it comes to this. And do you find, when you're out doing boots on the ground, right? Because you do get out, in the woods, right? I mean, you're not just when that Patterson, but were you already an outdoorsman before the Patterson thing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was a hunter. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So that kind of just triggered things like, now did it trigger anything that you might have remembered in the woods that might have been like, I wonder what that was. Was it something like that?
No, nothing in particular. Although, I have thought back on, even playing in the woods or hunting with Dad. It never brought back anything that I might have noticed, and that's the thing. Back before I got involved in, I guess you could say I wasn't alert to anything odd or things didn't stand out to me. And that's the very same thing when I talk to hunters today since I've been involved about what I do. I've had so many hunters tell me, well, I'm in the woods all the time. I never see nothing. because you're not looking. You're not aware of it. You're not, you know.
Just had this conversation.
I was the same way.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of it. I wasn't alerted to it. But when your senses open up and you start paying attention, yeah, and give it some time, things will start standing out to you. But like the tracks, you got to look for the tracks. You got, you know, yeah, some hunters will look, oh yeah, there's deer tracks here, but that's all they're focused on. You know, they might stumble across or accidentally, like, oh, somebody's walking through here with bare feet. You know, but,
right?
Yeah. Well,
you know,
I was a hunter myself, and throughout all the woods of New England, and you know, hunting, it's just you're not gonna like constantly look and see bare feet or tree structures or anything. You're just not paying attention. But you see what you're saying though. If you start seeing something that's not normal, and if you see something like walking around dark silhouette, big, and walking through the woods, you better get out.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it gets wild out there, man. We've been in a few situations, and Ghost Girl actually brings up a well-timed question. You know, is there a scary moment out there in the woods where you felt they were close, or you were nervous in any way? I mean, do you find yourself getting nervous? Do you go to one particular research area over and over again? You know, and does that quell that fear type of thing? You know.
Well, you know, there is one main research area. I have a few different research areas, but one in particular is my main research area. I've only had one situation that, for a moment, I was on edge where my heart got put in my throat. I didn't see nothing, but this was in 2015. I was actually hunting. It was in November of 2015, and I was camping out there. And you know, all the spots they're primitive. You know, it's not a campground. You're out in the national forest. And there was one particular night where I was sitting by the campfire and it was dead quiet. I was kind of bored. I wasn't tired. You know, I had my blazer there, the fire going, my shotgun leaning up against my vehicle. And I got to the point where, you know what? I'm going to grab my spotlight and just walk out to the middle of the road. And I do this sometimes, even on a camp. I do this on occasions. I'll walk up to the middle of the road in total darkness and stand there and just kind of look around and listen. I don't know why. It became a habit. I just started doing it. When I do group campouts, I'll do the same thing. I'll bring people. Hey, let's walk out. Be careful walking out. Let's walk out in the dark. Don't turn no lights on. Just stand there and listen. And that's what I did. And then it got to the point where, all right, time to turn the spotlight on. Right, and the tree line was about 20 feet out in front of me. I'm in the middle of the forest road, and over to my left, as soon as I turn the spotlight on, just beside the bushes, you could hear a deer jump up and run off. I'm like, oh, cool! I spooked a deer, you know. And then as I'm panning from my left over to my right, and I get around between the 1 and 2 o'clock position, immediately, right when I struck that position, just beside that tree line, something very large, heavy, and without doubt bipedal started walking away. You could hear every step as it crunched and thumped on the ground.
Yep.
And when I heard that, I mean, I was shook. I mean, I was like very intimidated. I was by myself, unarmed. My weapon was back there. I started walking backwards, you know, and with my opposite hand reaching down on my belt loop with my keys to make sure to hit the key fob to make sure my vehicle was unlocked, just in case I had to jump in and take off.
Right.
And I'm looking behind me as I'm backing towards camp. And all of a sudden I get back in camp, and almost immediately, once I got back close to my vehicle, I immediately kind of calmed down. Because literally my heart went up in my throat, and I couldn't catch my breath. I mean, it was pounding away. Because I felt very intimidated. I was very what's the word? I can't think of the word right now, but again, I felt very intimidated, and I just, you know, had to get away. And like I said, I calmed down because I came to the realization that, okay, whatever that was, I know it wasn't a bear. Bears, you could have a massive sized bear walk away from you. You may not even hear the steps. This was definitely bipedal. You could hear boom, 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 you know. And again, I recall that, okay, it was going away from me. It wasn't, you know, if it meant any harm to me, I know it could have came out and probably sacked me like a football player.
Yep.
But that was one of my most intimidated situations. So I mean, did I feel threatened? No, but you're by yourself out there, and you got something just inside the tree line that's pretty heavy, on 2 feet. You know,
Mhm.
Crunching the ground when it steps. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, that was a intimidating situation for sure. So,
Yeah, and that's like we've been in a few intimidating situations as well, similar to what you just spoke of. And when you hear it without seeing it, you know that
hmm
something's not right or whatever it might not be. What you're over here going down the list in your head as fast as you can. We don't have bear problems up over where we are. We're in southeastern Mass in the Bridgewater Triangle. And like if there is a bear somewhere, I always talk about it. He's all over Facebook. They call him Yogi. He's over in this town. Then there's that person. Leave the bear alone. You know what I mean? And it's like a big deal. And it's like, and so and I've tried to tell people this, and you really can't bottle that feeling up and that emotion up, but you can share it and say there's something different about it. You can hear that. We have a recording of the heaviness of the feet because we have a gifting chair in the woods in our research
okay,
here for about a year and a half now. We've been gifting, and we've had amazing results, and they're just getting more incredible because they're getting more and more comfortable with us and with what we're doing. And you can hear there's 3 big steps. You can hear the other ones cuffling through the leaves, but the 3 big ones where they boom, 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 and it just gets bigger and louder, and it's heavy, and you can feel it. And the recorder's magnetized up underneath this old chair that we found in the woods. And that there's something about that bipedalness, especially when you're miles away from everybody. You're in the whatever late night, middle of the night, whatever it might be. As a guy from the wilderness, that whatever you're hearing, your body is going, this is not normal. And then you get a little bit of that fight or flight that kicks in. And I've been in situations where my story started was in my backyard. And I remember going out there and I was flanked, and I knew I was flanked because I could hear them moving around me. And it wasn't normal because if it was a deer, which a fisher cat, I guess we have, and raccoons and possums, they're going to run away from you. They don't want nothing to do with you. They'd rather just not be bothered by you. And these things were not moving away from me. Every time I moved, they moved. And I remember even stutter stepping to throw them off guard and hear an extra stride out of them. And there's a lot to be said for that spider crawl, I think, because a lot of these seem really low to the ground, and they could control that extra step more so than I could being upright in a sense, right? So there were different sounds that I was hearing, and I remember going out of my woods, and you triggered something to me by saying going out backwards, and I've told this story many times. I went out backwards that time with my hands in the air like this, like, all right, I'm backing up. Like I'm backing up, like I'm talking to them, and I had let them see my hands. I'm backing up. I'm gonna go now, and I'm talking to the woods. To me, that's fight or flight. That's survival. You're trying to figure out a way to get out of that situation that you're in. And, we don't feel that as much, I don't think, anymore, because we go to the same research area. That's kind of why I asked that question. You know what I mean? And now you do a lot of stuff by yourself, right?
oh yeah, yeah. I have been doing a lot by myself.
Mm,
I've taken my grandson out a couple times. He's 5 years old.
mm,
We've done some just simple camping. I'll walk him through the woods a little bit here and there without overdoing it with him.
yeah.
But yeah, with my group, we've been doing group camp outs and doing our research together as well. That's been happening. Like I said, we do that twice a year, usually in May and then September.
Mm-hmm.
Reason for those times of year because you know, May, early to mid spring, comfortable temperatures. Not so hot and humid. Same
Right.
thing in September.
Right.
So we got our group camp out coming up on the 14th through the 20th here, and of September. So yeah, we're looking for comfortable. Most likely it should be pretty comfortable temperatures. Now, a couple of years ago, we did camp out in October a couple of years ago, and yeah, we had some cold temps. Because I guess the winter air was coming in a little earlier than normal. Usual. So yeah, we had some cold temps back in October, but September it should be just right.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been doing some research and trying some techniques out, and just simple, basic experimentations,
Yeah.
and it's funny. I'll make mention of this too, because as you guys are aware of, my new filming project. I put out one episode already, and I had a couple negative feedbacks, which, well, that's expected. I've had that over the years on even my own field video, my best individual solo field videos. You're always going to have criticism for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, now when we go out, a couple of my team members, David and Melissa, they bring out their German Shepherd. They've been doing that for the last 2-3 years now, but 3 years anyway. And we love having her. She's still kind of a pup. She's 2 years old. We still consider her a pup. And, but we love having her out there because it's interesting to watch, her become alerted to stuff, and things that she picks up. We may not hear them, but she's hearing stuff and she's noticing stuff. And it gives us reason to pay attention more. It kind of hey, okay, well, what's she alerted to? Let's start kind of looking around our surroundings here. But some of the negative feedbacks is I had an individual say, "Oh, you guys are going about it all wrong. You guys are bringing dogs out there. That's no way to hunt. Blah blah blah." And I didn't even respond. I didn't respond. I just, okay, it's an ignorant comment. This person knows everything, so I just, I removed this comment. But I mean, that's what comes with the territory is, stuff like that. But, we like to experiment. We like to do things. We have reasons why we do things because there's no right way and wrong way to conduct research. The one thing, we're out there to camp to begin with. We go out camping. We want to enjoy ourselves. But of course, the Bigfoot research is a big part of it too. So we've had experiences out there. We found some interesting things, with and without the dogs. So it doesn't stop nothing. It doesn't prevent anything. So
but what you're saying, again, the right way, wrong way, we say it all the time on our YouTube lives. I'm like, listen, if you want to come out and bang on a tree or whoop or whatever it might be, you want to talk about structures or try to decipher mimics or whatever the case might be, do it. We're in a non-scientific field where there's no discovery, supposedly, and you're free to do whatever you want. Nobody knows what they like and don't like, and anybody who tells you they do, then move on. Because people have experiences that they share with you. Those experiences can have a lot of information in them, to give you more data for yourself, and then you can compare. Like you're in Virginia, we're in Massachusetts. We have certain things we could compare notes, right? We have a gentleman, Brian Terrell in Oklahoma. We found what we thought would have been a hut. It was a very weird setup, and he had a similar one in his research area, and he's in Oklahoma. So if we don't talk, we don't get to compare that data. If we're like, oh no, that one's different than mine. You don't know what they do. He ain't laying in that. He's laying in mine. You know what I mean?
Right.
What the hell's that gonna do? I had a guy today going. He comes in and all he says is fairy tales. That's what he says. I'm gonna make him famous. I don't care. He says fairy tales, right? So he gets the boot from my moderators because I start up with them, and I think they like to protect me more than them. And then he comes in with like a business name. I just associated it being his wife's business as a med spa, something like that. And he says the same thing under her name, and I'm like, all right, Sparky, get me his information. So every once in a while, I'll go back and poke, and I was like, hey, is Paul here? Paul wasn't around. I can't find him. Anybody know where Paul is? But yeah, we get that. We get it all the time, especially on the YouTube lives. We're in the woods. We do YouTube lives, and we had a nice one. We had like over 13,000 people or something, and you maybe 2 or 3 people got the boot, and then you get this 4,000. Like today was a little like 4,100 people or whatever.
Nice.
And the moderators are over like boom, 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 kicking them out, and I'm like, oh my God, man, what the hell's going on? It depends on what day, and you have to realize you got to get thick skin, and you have to realize that these are people that probably don't even own a pair of boots. You know what I mean? They're probably more like Croc people. Sorry, I was gonna get that into it when I could. No, I got my Captain America Crocs around here somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, there they are. Oh, they're camouflaged. They're hard to see.
Yeah.
That's bullshit, man.
Yeah, I hope you have a couple of pairs because I noticed you're standing, you're walking around. Dude, it's a 2-hour show, so it's good. I hope you have a lot of gels.
Well, I'm in the quietest room right now because, grandkids out there, my daughter's out there, and everybody else. So I got to go in the quietest room.
Yeah, no,
Normally I sit.
Go ahead.
Yeah, normally I sit out in the garage and do this, but I'm actually in my room right now. So
Nice.
Daniel, I do have a friend that does live in Virginia, and they a lot of him and a lot of his friends know a lot about your research and everything. He's
Chet
shocked.
Nichols.
He's shocked that we have like Bigfoot in our neck of the woods because we grew up with him.
Oh, okay.
His name's Eric, and great dude, and he loves it out in Virginia. And yeah, a lot of people know who you are, which is a good thing. But it seems like you're doing the right thing, researching. And not only that, one thing I've learned, being Richie, we just think outside the box. There's no right, there's no wrong in anything.
Right.
And because if you don't try something, you get 0%. If you give that, shot, you might get 0.01%. And so, you know what? Ignore the haters and stuff. That's what we do.
That's his new favorite
yeah.
saying, by the way. The 0% one. Do you do that at work too?
Yep.
You do that at work?
I do that at work.
Yeah, if you piss me off, there's 0.01%. If you don't piss me off, there's 0.0%. Is that what you're saying? I get it. That works, man. That works. I think TKB asked Daniel where he likes to camp. No, you can't specifically ask anybody anything. Quiet. I believe is it.
I get it. Yeah, I can respond to that where I like to camp.
You can respond to any damn thing you want, Daniel.
I camp in the woods.
Damn.
I usually camp in primitive locations. I don't camp in campgrounds. I do camp in all parts of the national forest. So
yeah.
But yeah, of course, we're not going to give out those specifics. But
no, we don't do that. He knows that. I think he's just trying to see if it was Tennessee or not. You know what I mean?
No, it's definitely here in Virginia. I mean, I've done Pennsylvania. Now, camping wise, it's been between Virginia and Pennsylvania as far as just for the camping. But I spent a lot of time up in Pennsylvania. But my primary focus is in Virginia. I mean, I've been up and down the East Coast, but there's a lot to cover here in Virginia. Virginia, I feel like, is so highly underestimated. The whole East Coast is highly underestimated, to be honest with you.
It is
compared to the West Coast. The West Coast gets all the props, but. I've even had journalists write articles because I put on the annual Virginia Bigfoot conference every year. I've had journalists saying, well, there's no Bigfoots here in Virginia. Why are they doing this? You don't blah, blah, blah. I don't know who this woman was, but, she was full of bullshit, and doesn't do her research. I mean, if she was to look into it, she would find all the reports off the East Coast. I mean, there's so much. And a lot of people dwell on the BFRO. The BFRO doesn't have all the information. They have a lot of reports. Yes, I'll admit to that. They have a great deal of reports, but there's so many people and eyewitnesses that you get to know, or they get to know you and get used to you. They come out and tell you. There's people I've had come out of the woodworks that's never shared stories. There's people here on the mountains or along the Appalachian. They're not going to jump on no database and report their sightings.
Nope.
Because a lot of this happens on their property,
That's right.
Or maybe on the way to work, driving over the mountain, which, I mean, you'll be surprised how many people have seen something that just hasn't come forward yet.
Yeah, no, you're right on with that. And we, oh my God. Fucking done with both of you. We believe that's a 4-letter word around here. So I'm not a fan. I was at one time, but things have changed, and I've seen things I didn't want to see, unfortunately, when it came to that organization. So it changed my perspective on them.
I know a few things about them too, but I won't say it.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, it broke my heart because I was a novice. This stuff happened in my backyard. When it all started, it was in my backyard. I wasn't out looking for Bigfoot. You know what I mean? I wasn't looking for any of that stuff. They came to me, and this was an ongoing thing for 8 years. I kept it completely silent. I was very nervous of the ridicule and how I would react to that ridicule. And my children were growing up at this house, and then my son had an experience, and and so on and so forth. And that's where it all started for me. So when I started actually opening up about things, or even letting people in just a little bit, I was very nervous. And I learned a lot of things about big type organizations in this area that was not what I hoped it to be, because I'm all about the research and the passion and finding out things and learning things. I'm the Jane Goodall type thinker. I want to know what they do. I want to know how they live and how we can save their area and protect them. And those are the types of things, not that they need protection from us. I really don't think they do, but to be respectful to where they live in their area is very important to me. Even as little as putting up a sign like they do in Oregon or Washington saying, hey, Bigfoots live here, be respectful. Even as that. And like you said, Massachusetts and the East Coast in general, we're not mentioned anywhere. And it's really very few reports. And part of the problem is things like that, the ridicule. So when you're out there shitting on somebody, remember, you're going to affect everybody around them, that person that ain't going to come forward and share a story. And we're not going to get any more knowledge. And so it's very important. So our whole plan was to put Massachusetts and New England on the map. And we have assembled great people around us from New Hampshire and Connecticut and Maine and Western Massachusetts with the Vogels, and just kind of mapping it out and making it a circle and building up this wall. Sparky has a question, but Sparky, that question was answered, but the second half of your question was not. Have you ever talked about the confrontation or how you felt uncomfortable? But what about, have you been in a situation maybe that you didn't feel uncomfortable, but you knew there was a Sasquatch around, and maybe you were at ease and okay with it?
Yeah, matter of fact, when I shared that one experience, I should have backed up a little bit. A year before that, during one of my group campouts, there were 6 of us total, myself included, and 5 others. It was during one of our group campouts. We were doing some hiking and some exploring during the daytime. We ended up doing on May 3rd of 2014, we went out and did an evening hike. And I'm going to jump ahead to jump up to the scenario, the situation, because there's a lot of little details I usually tell leading up to it. But long story short, we were down at the lake, which was almost a mile from our campsite. And after being there for some time, we decided to regroup and start marching back to camp, because we had almost a mile hike. It was late at night. And, it's like, all right, guys, let's we all regrouped, head back to camp. And we're walking back out from the lake, walking out to the main part of the forest road. But about halfway up, or almost 3/4 of the way up, I was in front of everybody. We were walking in single file line. We were talking amongst ourselves. Weren't trying to be quiet. Our goal was just to get back to camp. Well, first thing noticed, here comes a deer, like nonchalantly walking right towards us, which I stopped and I'm watching it, and it's still walking towards us. And when it was about 10 feet, a good 10 feet out in front of us, it then nonchalantly turned off and walked further into the woods. So, which I thought, okay, that was interesting. You think, I know that deer heard and saw us. I mean, that deer should have ran off sooner, which that's what I thought was odd. It just kept walking towards us and then nonchalantly walked off. Well, interesting thing, we kept walking, but right up past where that deer had turned off, over on the opposite side of the road, off the edge of the roadway there, something else catches my attention. And I'm trying to look at it. It's something yellow, bright and yellow, reflecting. And one of the first thoughts that ran through my head, because I was like, I'm thinking it's one of those yellow signs that you see in random places here in the national forest. And all they usually say is no vehicles beyond this point. And I'm thinking, if that's an odd place for one of them to be. Then I'm still staring at this, and then my eyes become more focused. And all of a sudden, I noticed it was a set of eyes because it blinked. And I was like, what the heck? And bright yellow looking eyes. It was sitting kind of low. I didn't know what to think. My buddy Tracy was the next one behind me. I said, Tracy, look. I said, my first thought was, is that a freaking mountain lion? I don't know. First animal, when I realized it was a set of eyes, that was the first thought that popped in my head. But we're both looking at it, and all of a sudden, like, it zips off. And as soon as it goes away, Tracy's like, guys, let's get up here. We got some eye shine up here. We walk up in position where we seen that set of eye shine, and we realized whatever it was next to a tree, and the ground actually sloped down. So we explained why it was a little low to begin with. But we get up there and we're standing there, and keep in mind, is dark, we had some headlamps on. A couple of us had some bright lamps on, and it was dark. This was just after midnight, and we're looking down there, and it's dark as could be, and our headlamps are only going out so far. But then all of a sudden, we pick up that set of eye shine again. It's probably a good 30 to 40 feet out, and we're looking at it, and whatever it is, we're not recognizing or picking up anything, any details, but we're seeing the set of eye shine. It's swaying side to side pretty swiftly. Like, what the heck is this? You know, we're all staring at it. We're all looking at it, you know, and, you know, keep in mind, I'm pretty familiar with a lot of the wildlife in the woods there, you know, everything that's known to exist out there.
Yeah.
And, you know, I know raccoons. I've seen a lot of raccoons at night, and some of them startle me. You know, they have bright yellow eyes. I've walked over the edge of a waterway over the road and look down and see bright yellow eyes looking at me. And yeah, raccoons. This was no raccoon. I just couldn't pick up and make sense of what this was. And we estimated, well, it was probably a good 4 feet tall, at least. And while we're staring at this set of eye shine that's swaying side to side, over about 4 or 5 feet to the right of it, a second set of eye shine appears. Same color eye shine, except this was about a good 2 feet taller. So we got something that's around 4 feet. Now there's something around 6 feet tall. Same color eye shine. This wasn't displaying any movement, but on occasions it would blink its eyes at us. And, you know, you're like, okay, what the heck? This is interesting. We got two sets of eye shine here. And they're just one standing there, the other one's still swaying side to side. And you got a lot of trees, a lot of thick bushes in here. And, you know, I'm trying to scan the area, and I'm looking over through the thick brush, and somewhere down below the brush, I'm looking at another set of eye shine. This set of eye shine, or this third set of eye shine, appeared to be like it was literally on the ground. So I was like, the heck? I said, you guys see, there's another set of eye shine down there. And when I came back, I just pointed it out, but I kept my focus on it. And I'm watching it. All of a sudden, that third set of eye shine starts raising up, you know, as if it started to grow. And I'm watching it, and it's coming over up past the bushes, and the bushes were pretty tall. And here it comes, and it stops. When this third set of eye shine stops, it was towering over top of the 6-foot one by another 2 feet. So now we got a 4-foot subject. Yeah, I called them subjects because I didn't know what we were looking at. A 4-foot subject, a 6-foot subject. Now we got something that's around 8 feet tall. Now, that one there blinked his eyes a couple times. My buddy Tracy, he's the first one that said this, and I wasn't even thinking this. I'm trying to run through my head every known species of wildlife that's known to exist in this area, and nothing's making sense. But my buddy Tracy's like, guys, we got squatches. And he said that. I was like, could we? I mean, I wanted to believe that, but I needed something more that was to confirm it for me. I needed something. I needed to see something, because we weren't seeing no physical features, no shapes, nothing. But that tall one, it did get interesting, because that tall one made a maneuver where it appeared to turn to its left and take a step or two and look back at us. Now, when it made that movement, I believe our lights caught it at the right angle, because, I mean, at least for me, it did. What I saw next was a set of very wide, broad shoulders and a big round head sitting on top of those shoulders.
Yes.
You cannot mistake what I saw. There's no doubt what I saw.
Yeah.
And for a fact, these were no bears. I was convinced that we were looking at a family unit of squatches. Now, not long after seeing that, the three of them looked like they all turned off and disappeared further into the darkness. We didn't see nothing more after that. And after that, we continued to walk on. And we had a couple that, Kimmy and Darren, they were with us. They came down from Vermont back then. And Kimmy, she was the only one that expressed any kind of nervousness or fear, because while we were walking, you could hear an occasional limb snap on the ground or whatever, because, she was like, oh my God, they're following us. I said, no, they're just walking through the woods. There's sticks on the ground out there. They're walking, Yeah. I mean, if we walk through, we're going to step on limbs and whatever too and snap too. It's no different. But, the rest of us, none of us came across as feeling nervous, scared. I mean, I know I myself, I was actually excited. I was more excited to realize what we were seeing when we did realize it. But yeah, we continued back to camp, and we were still talking about it. I don't know why we were even trying to debunk it. I mean, what else could they have been? We saw what we saw.
Yeah.
And real quick, or a disappointment about this whole situation was me and Tracy. We both had backpacks, and in our backpacks, we both had night vision. And not once did we ever think about pulling out our night vision to get
Yep.
get a view. We were kicking ourselves in the butt for that because we were caught up in the moment, trying to focus on what we were looking at. But that's the way the cookie crumbles. You get caught up in the moment. You don't think about the necessary things to do. So, since I'm sharing this story with what I told you a little while ago about what happened in 2015, one thing I like to point out about these two situations, as you guys mentioned, there was deer present prior to having whatever happened. In 2014, the deer was walking towards us, and then we saw the eye shine right after that. 2015, I spooked up a deer, and then that bipedal heavy subject walked away from me, assuming it was a Sasquatch. I mean, I have no doubt it was very large, heavy bipedal. So I'll look at both situations. There was deer present in both situations. My question to myself, or in general, is: did we interrupt the hunt? Did we interfere with something that was about to take place?
Right.
I asked myself that. I think that's a good possibility, but I can't prove it. But so that's one thing I like to point out too. Those are the two main situations. I've had other experiences, not non-sighting experiences. As far as I've had rocks thrown, I've heard all kinds of strange, unknown, unrecognizable vocalizations. And then back in May, we had a very interesting experience there too. But seeing something that I never thought I would see before. But that's seeing a strange light in the woods that did not make sense. But
dude,
yeah,
I'm blown away because I just typed in the side and I said, "Does it sound familiar, guys?" to my audience, because again, we go live on YouTube, and a lot of the people that are here now, all of them, I believe, have been with us at least once, if not, a ton from the beginning. We had the same thing. And we the same color, the yellow eyes, the low to the ground. And Wojo was a big proponent of this and pushing that. And I was the one trying to grab it, going, I don't want to go there. Don't say eyes yet. Let's wait. You know what I mean? Let's find out. You know what I mean? Let's find out.
Yeah.
Let's relax. And it happened a couple of investigations in a row. And excuse me 1 second, Maddox, I will come up there. Podcast studio in your home. It's pleasant. that and a gaming 14-year-old boy. That's never good when he gets murked. But excuse me. So I think it was like the third time or something. So I'm watching this. I'm looking. I'm going, okay, all right, let's look again. Here we are. I'm zooming in and I'm going, I swear that just blinked. And I'm doing it again. And I'm in the yellowish green hue. And I'm zooming in and I'm going, I swear that one just blinked. And a lot of times it was like there was one, but then all of a sudden you would see two, And the story that I remember was, and this is, I'll let Wojo get there because that's his favorite subject. And I'm standing there and I look up, and I'm not kidding you. It goes up a hill. So when I say 11 feet tall, please don't think I'm trying to tell you how tall whatever this was. It was pitch black, nighttime. 10 at night or so, and I see this is Jackson behind me. My son Jack was I don't know if you know the story, but he was stillborn, and that's why you see his name here. And he gave me the passion to do this show. But the name Wojo gave the gentleman behind me, the dude behind me, is Jackson, my son, Jackson. So, anyways, when I refer to Jackson, that's who I'm talking about. So I see this. I see one eye. Well, one red. Now I call it an eye. I didn't call it an eye for a long time. And it's sticking out beyond this tree. And I'm going, and I'm looking at it going, it's red. The other ones were yellow. And I'm going, yellowish green. And I'm looking up and I'm going, what the hell is that? And you can hear me on the live going, dude, what am I looking at? And I'm watching this thing and it goes just like this, kind of like what you said. He just, like this, moved his head. It was a very methodical motion like this.
Yep.
and you could almost tell it was like a barrel on a barrel. There was no neck. It was just like it swung out like this, and it went from 1 to 2.
Mm.
And then he moved it back up like this, and then it was back to 1. And I went, holy shit. I took it as he felt my doubt, and he was like, oh yeah, I'm real. And that was, dude, it was mind blowing. And it took me months to use the word eyes. I was, and I believe they're self-illuminating eyes, not so much, no disrespect, but eye shine, because we didn't have any flashlights on them or nothing. There was nothing to come back at us. You know what I mean? They were making that light on their own. And I'm going, what creature in the woods does this, right? Real quick. Hey, Joe, how you doing, man? I didn't want to leave Joe hanging. What's up, Joe Fox? Good to see you. But it was absolutely mind-blowing. And it's funny because how many stories have you just, and things that you just said that you and I and Wojo and the research family are just like that. You know what I mean? Like everybody you see on the side, they're researchers as well. They're just virtual researching. That's all they're doing. And I've even had a show on my podcast with the virtual researchers because I think they're important to everything that we do. Not only do they validate, they confirm, right? So, which is huge, right? But I know Wojo, that was Wojo's big thing. He goes, dude. And I'm like, dude, don't say the word eyes, dude. I don't know if they're eyes yet. I can't determine that they're eyes, but the low to the ground, right, Wojo?
The hot part is
they're low to the ground, Wojo, low to the ground. Are you hearing what the guy said?
Yeah, they're low to the ground.
Don't take a laugh. Talk about that because that's what blows my mind.
Sorry,
I got a lot of energy.
Eyes, that's the problem. I'm looking at, because Richie's right beside me, looking at the big tall one, and he kept doing the peekaboo. And I can see him, and Richie's like, check the one over here. But I go, yeah, but check the one that's coming closer. Because when you have the eye shine, but then you see the 2 dots. And that's why I go, dude, this one's getting a lot closer. And he had to be about 3 or 4 feet to the ground. But it just seems like he's like inching closer. And then is when it stood up. It looked like an elevator. It just went, whoop. And I go, holy shit. Excuse my language. But
That's what he did, man.
I go, I'm whacking him in the shoulder. It just stood up, and it's over 8 feet tall.
He's yelling at me. It just stood up.
Stood up.
Mind blowing.
And it's like, where our vehicles are, so we're leaving, and we saw more of these eye shines, but we're not sure if it could be a house or whatever. So for me to determine that, we had several other people with us, and when Richie left, they all took a right, and Richie was the last one.
Mm-hmm.
The 2 of them, they were side by side. There was one that was taller than them all that really gave off the shine, and you could see them both at the same time watch Richie drive by. They all turned their heads, and then at the same time, they both looked at me because I stopped. I want to see if they, a reaction. I stayed pretty much where I was, and Richie already took the right out of the area that we're at, and they watched him leave. And then they turned and looked at me. I had the window open. I go, hey, guys, hey, enjoy the peanut butter. I'm out of here. I'm like, I call Richie, move that fucking eye, the head and everything. It was so, exhilarating.
It is exhilarating. And one thing I want to jump in and do, but it's the similarities to the stories. And that's the beauty of it. That's communicating. You're in Virginia or wherever you were at the time, not here, I'll tell you that. And we're sharing the same mentality, the same thought method. And not only that, we're getting a similar result because we believe we're dealing with 4 of them. We believe it was mom, dad, teenager, and little dude. And not only that, we actually pulled a 8x3 print out of ice in a swamp area in our research area in the wintertime. We had Wojo down on the ice, blowtorching this thing out. And it's an amazing little print. And I know a lot of people will boo-hoo it because it's not past the realm of human. But it's in the ice. It's 0 degrees. It must have slushed out. The water slushed out, and then it refroze. And there it was, these toes. Darren was as a researcher and Mojo's roommate, and he said, hey, guys, look at this over here. And you could see it all over the slush. There was these splashes all over it. And this one really had, 2 of them actually had specific toes, but one of them we're able to pull out of the ice. and it's out of the ice. It's all on YouTube Live. You're watching us melt the ice around it. You watch us pull this printout. It's right over here on my evidence case, and it's amazing because it has a feature in it that is unique to humans. It's mind blowing, and it just blew my mind. But I want to pull up your. Oh, she told me what to do. Damn me.
The giveaway to me is the toe slide in the ice. And then the snow came off its toes and froze just above the footprint.
Oh, yeah, dude. It's absolutely amazing. And everybody on live is watching this whole thing. They watched when we discovered it. They watched when we go back. They watched when we realized we're two dummies and we needed a blowtorch. You know what I mean? And we had to melt the ice around it. You know what I mean? So everybody, this is our guest tonight. I want you to follow him on all the amazing things that he's doing. Chet Nichols is here, by the way. Daniel, I know you and him are very good friends.
Yeah. Hey, Chet, how you doing?
Those two go back and forth all the time on Facebook. It's funny. You know you do. Come on. They do. It's a good balance with each other. You guys go. I love watching it. I learn actually just from watching conversations sometimes. I don't know how many times I've watched a conversation like that where you have that banter back and forth, and no pun intended. Maybe it was. And then you're like, oh, shit, that happens up here too. Or, oh, I didn't even think of that. That helps. It really helps. You need every bit of help you can get, right? Chet says,
oh, yeah.
So here you go, everybody. Wildlife Bigfoot researcher. You see ECBRO founded .com, www. What's this? Oh, Virginia Bigfoot Con. Oh, that's the Bigfoot Con. Yeah. That was recently, right? Not recently, but beginning of summer?
Yeah, in June. Yeah, I do that every June.
Yep, every June. So everything's right here for you guys to see. I want you guys to follow and support him in any way that you can. You know what I mean? Let's see. Oh, that show is when Mike Gray, you're right. Oh, look at this. She actually put all the stuff in here so I don't have to go back out and click. So this is what I wanted to get into, right? I'm going to go back to your socials while I open this area up. I, from day one, was a structure guy. From day one, now, mind you, I'm not a Bigfoot guy. I'm not that guy, man. I know my woods, man. They're 3 acres, butts 94 acres of conservation. This is the land that I own in the Bridgewater Triangle. And I would go out there trying to explain these structures that I was finding. They were mind-blowing. And a lot of them are on my YouTube, and they're just mind-blowing. So anyways, so when I came into this and I started talking to people, a lot of people like, yeah, I'm not really in the structures, structures don't really do nothing for me. Yeah, they're not very scientific. You hear all these different things. And I'm like, but can you explain the weather away? And they're like, what do you mean by that? And I'm like, can you explain? Don't explain the structure, how it was built. I want you to explain the weather doing it away. Can you do that? Well, weather does strange things, the weather does strange things. And I'm like, I got that. But can you look at this structure right here from the top, break it down by percentage, start out at 100%, tell me the weather did it, and minus things away from it. And try it that way. And it opened up a bunch of doors for a lot of people where that type of thought it helped. It helped me because I'm going minus and away now I'm down to 20% looking at the structure going, okay. I'm down to 20%, dude. Something with thumbs did that, right?
Yep, exactly.
So check it out. This is what you got going on. Question: what Daniel thinks about the different characteristics that the Virginia Bigfoot may have than other states, if any? Interesting. I don't know.
Characteristics. I mean, just like us people, we vary. And we all have our own habits, and it really depends. On every individual is, acts and behaves differently based off of what they have available to them, and how and what's, pretty much, same thing with food source. Are they in an area with an abundant amount of food source? Are they living healthy off of, do they have enough to hunt, and it all varies really, in my honest opinion. I think it all depends. But
I agree. I say the same thing. I tell everybody that, you have Eskimos that live in the North Pole and you have people that live in Haiti, and there's a vast difference between them because of weather, because of geographical setting, because of food sources, everybody. And I believe and there's a question for you. For me, I believe that there is primate in there, but I also believe that there's primitive human in there. And I believe maybe not necessarily missing link, but it's somewhere in between. You know what I mean? So I don't think I have an ape running around the woods completely. You know what I mean? I think they have ape characteristics and traits and stuff because of some of the sounds that I've heard from recordings. The prints that you find, right? They have that mid torso, right? But it's more that sometimes you see, like, some of my prints are bent. They kind of bend, right? So to me, that reminds me of something that can grab a tree, right? And go up to the top of a tree or something if it needs to. So those types of things are different, I think, from a human in a sense. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
How do you feel about that? What do you think you're dealing with? You dealing with a monkey in the woods, or you're dealing with a crazy old human that's never been discovered or supposedly, exterminated at some point?
Well, I've always looked at it in this one particular view. Now, as far as if they're human, because I've had people tell me they're not primate, they're human. Well, let's look at this scientifically. Me and you, we're human primates.
Right.
So we are a type of primate.
Correct.
There's a different classification of primates out there, and I've gotten into, I won't get into the whole deep conversation on it, but regardless if you think they're human or not human, in my honest opinion, I believe they're an unclassified primate, undiscovered primate of some sort, and that could be either human or non-human. Now, my filming for my next episode started today, and the individual that I filmed for a good almost hour and a half, I was blown away by the information and the knowledge that he shared and his views on this.
Yep.
He's Native American descent and has some very deep insight on this. And I was intrigued by what he had to share because we covered a lot of different things, both spiritual, looking at things in a spiritual sense and then in a physical sense. He honestly believes there's one or the other, but some of them, in some situations, some could be combined. If they are spiritual, then they're, again, I'm going to when I upload the episode, I think you would be intrigued. He would be a great guy to have on the show one day. He's full of knowledge. The way he shared what he did, it actually got me thinking a little bit. But as of right now, I'm definitely looking at them as an unclassified, undiscovered primate. And again, I want to be careful when I say that because I've always told people I'm not saying they're equal to a gorilla or chimpanzee or orangutan. I'm not saying they're none of that.
Right.
However, the gentleman I spoke to, Mr. William Nighthawk, one thing I know right off the bat we were in agreement together with was that there are different types of Bigfoot. Just like there's different types of people. You know,
right.
All across the country we have people that it might be taller and the Asians are smaller, and and we all live differently based off our environment and our habitat. So and if we move somewhere, we adapt to that. Just like every living creature.
Yep.
So, I mean, there's all kinds of different ways we can look at that. And, for somebody to say, no, they're not this, they're only that.
Right.
There's no proof of that. I would ask somebody, show me the concrete, solid evidence that your answer is right and nobody else is wrong. Everybody else is wrong.
Right. Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. But I keep an open mind. Nowadays, you really have to keep an open mind. Nothing's right or wrong at the moment, but we can have conclusions that, and some reasons that might support that, conclusion. But again, it still doesn't make it right, but there's some things that do make sense if you dig into a few things and look at things.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. And I think the skunk ape is a great example of it. The skunk ape in Florida is known to be a little more stealthy, a little more lean as far as like kind of skinny, but still muscular and not as big and broad as the one seen in the Pacific Northwest. And that right there will explain everything to you. The diagonal, the furthest part you can get basically in America. And one's big and bulky, and you look at his terrain. He's the big and bulky. But you look down in Florida and you go, well, there's plenty of food there and all that stuff. But there's a lot more steady heat down there. There's a lot more humidity down there. What happens when we go for a jog down south? We lose more calories than we would if we went jogging up in the Pacific Northwest. Do they smell like a skunk? There's a ton of skunk cabbage down there. Maybe they have abundance of skunk cabbage. I had some in my backyard, and it was picked twice a year. And it wasn't Bambi out there chewing on it because there was no chew marks. It was just gone, and then it grew back. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
You know, it was bizarre.
Then again, you got a lot of swamp gas and stuff too. That a lot of the swamps that put out and fulminate the air sometimes in some areas. You know.
Yeah, no,
So,
it could be a combination of the two. But I've always
Right.
associated with the uncle in the family that drinks too much Jack Daniels. And he comes to the family outing the next day and he stinks like Jack
Right.
Daniels. Yeah, it's the same type of thing, right? Uncle Skunk Ape, you know that guy.
Well, I mean, plus like we wash and we practice being sanitary and whatnot. So they're living out there in the wild. They sweat like we do. You know, they sweat and all that and any kind of dirt and mud they get. You know, and if they're eating animals, all that all that combined. I mean, I can only imagine the rotten smell that some of them might possess. Because I've had people ask me, "Oh, did you smell anything during your encounter?" Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. You know, I think we were close enough where we should have smelled something.
Right.
We didn't smell nothing.
Yeah.
And I think it depends on their environment and what they live around and how they eat and feed, you know, so.
Yep. Yeah, I went years without smelling nothing. And I was out with Wojo one day and he's like, you smell that? And I'm like, smell what? I'm like, and then I got a whiff and I'm like, oh my God, that's like stale piss. And lo and behold, we had an encounter where they were like 60 feet running through the woods at dusk. It was just crashing through the woods. We're like, what? You hear me going, what the fuck is that? You know what I mean? Like absolutely horrifying. And the smell was associated with it. And then the other night, last Friday night, we got some great kick-ass thermals, dude. Oh my God, they're mind-blowing. And we were hearing noise and we put our thermal on it. And lo and behold, there was a figure there. He left again. The guest is gone, everybody. No, I'm just kidding. Nobody rides for free around here, bro. Tickets, please. But so we put our thermal on it and boom, there was a figure, right? But we go back there today and we're no more than, like Wojo said, probably even closer than the 50 or 60 feet that I estimated. It was probably more like 30 to 40 feet. And I didn't smell nothing. Did you, Wojo?
No.
Nothing.
Usually we smell that. Remember that dirt smell though?
That dirt, the dirt swampy.
It's like a dirt swampy smell. It's than that really like solid, danky urine smell. But we haven't smelled that in a while. But yeah, I mean, this what we saw on the thermal is I've never seen it. Using that thing, I've never seen anything like that in my life.
Yeah, those thermals are crazy. She said you.
If you're ever out there, you talking about a urine smell. If you ever do smell a strong urine smell out there, I would be cautious because that could be a cat. So.
And, you know what's funny is we don't typically have cats where we are, but we did find some prints last winter that were pretty similar to cats. And I don't know if you ever heard of Jean Tewksbury. Jean Tewksbury is the go-to on the cats, and she's up in Maine, and she's a great friend of ours. And we love you, Jean. And we brought it to her and was talking to her, and she said, "Yeah, you might have a cat out there, basically." And that was pretty unusual, and that's a good point you make. But yeah, I definitely be careful.
So you can have richieb in front of you and get that.
Yeah, that was today. Sorry about that, buddy. I cropped us the investigation today.
Richie, do you smell it? Like, you looked at me. I go, "Oh man,
what you got? What you got there, buddy?"
Yeah. Now I don't know if you can see this. I was it's not going to let me show it.
Yeah, it is right there, right there.
So the name's actually on the center of here. This is the case of my thermal.
Yeah.
It's called the X Infrared T2 Pro. I tell you what, I've been using this and I'm very impressed with it. It comes with a device where you could, it's got your little grip here and a little.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You can put your phone, and now it works with your phone. However, you can connect. Here's a camera. And I'm going to tell you, it's a small little camera. Again, I don't know if if it's going to pick it up, but it's a small little camera.
Yeah.
It's got I got an Android phone, so it connects to my Type-C.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Android. Woo!
It's an ongoing battle around here, bro. You got to watch it.
Now you could get this when you order. If you ever get this, you could get it for Apple, iPhone, whatever. But this is very impressive. It's nearly around $400. You could get it just under. It depends on if you buy it directly through their website. But I'm going to tell you, this little thermal, I'm highly impressed with it. The distance and the clarity and the sharpness of this blows my cookies. I mean, it's cool. Unbelievable.
No, that's good to know.
Now my teammate, David, now he just got his. He started using it during our last camp out. His is more of a monocular that looks very identical to like the TK Scout Thermal Flare, which I have that too.
Yeah.
Which works great. It does work great. These here you could change. It's it's on the touch screen. You could change the different color settings for the heat and thermal settings. I love it. It's a very simple tool to use. It's worth using. If anybody's looking for a great tool, like I said, it connects to your phone. You do got to download the app. There is an app you got to download, but it's all simple to use. But it's just something I recommend. I definitely would recommend this device. Like I said, it's nearly around $400, and it connects to your phone. You got to download the app.
That's awesome. No, that's good to know.
When,
We just been talking about that with the thermals for the phones, And can you broadcast from it? Like, can I go to YouTube and since it's on my phone, will it still?
No, I don't think you can. At least I never explored that deep into it, though.
Yeah,
but now, while you're using it out in the field, you can record. Yeah. And the cool thing about when you record, of course, it does pictures or videos. But when you do videos and you're recording, if you talk, it picks up audio. So unlike all the thermals, so because it's connected to your phone, yes, it'll record your voice or any audio around it. So
so you'll hear me go, "What the fuck is that?" Every time.
Exactly.
Dude, I've been doing this 10 years, and I still yell the same exact phrase every time I get startled. What the fuck? Like I don't know. That's stupid.
Do you have the black and white, or do you have the orange and?
Yeah, do you do the colors or the hot white one?
I change it up every so often. Like I said, it has several different color settings on it. And sometimes I do use the black and white. Like I said, there's different color settings you can change. I think it's got like 5 or 6 different color settings on it. So
one. So
and the camera that I just showed you a little while ago has got his own manual focus on it too. So that's awesome. I love that. It works great.
Yeah.
So
I'll definitely check that thing out, man. I'm gonna do some research on that. Absolutely. Yeah. What's the name? Tell everybody the name of your documentary, and then I'm going to get to some of your structures and some of the pictures that you sent in.
Oh, yes. Bigfoot Explorers. We just started with this. We do have one episode out right now on my YouTube channel. So it's roughly an hour and 20 minutes, 20-something minutes long. Mm-hmm. However, I just started recording for my next episode. That's going to be towards that. But I'm actually considering making it. Let me back up. The gentleman that I recorded and filmed today, my teammate David suggested, and I actually thought about this earlier while I was recording and listening to William. I may turn this into an episode recording documentary all in itself because this guy possessed tons of information.
Yeah.
And his knowledge is mind blowing. So I may make it into a Native American documentary based off of him and his knowledge and everything he shared, because he shared some good stuff. I think people need to hear what he had to say.
Yeah.
His perspective and his views on things, it will blow your mind. It'll really wow.
I love that stuff. I love it. Yeah. And we have a Native American perspective as well from Elder Medicine Bear Claw, and she's guided us through a lot, when it comes to that different Native American words and stuff like that. So because when we get startled, when we get startled on YouTube, because we start trying to talk different, the Native American language and having a conversation with them. And we've been in some situations where it's just, you get freaked out pretty good. And, different names, not just Sasquatch, not just Bigfoot, the Satanya, you know what I mean? And different names like that. We use Oki and Tanse and, different things, different words. And she's kind of guided us through a lot. And, for me, historically, I think they're the go-to in that sense, because they were here long before us. And just like anything else, if you hire a carpenter to come to your house, you want a guy that's done it for 20 years or a guy that's done it for a year. You know what I mean? It's, I want the guy from 20 years to come in and do what he's got to do. Not saying the guy with 1 year ain't good, but my first thought is that's where I'm going to go, Yeah, so I think it's a very, very interesting perspective. So listen, everybody get over to Daniel's YouTube channel, and I'm going to bring all that back up right now, and we're going to check out some pictures here. And I saw Animal come in, by the way, a little while ago. Animal, I didn't mean to ignore you. Animal has the boys from Dark Realm TV on tonight. We're hoping to get them on in September sometime. So we could sit down with them from Dark Realm TV. There'd be someone that you might want to talk to, by the way, Daniel. I don't know if you've heard of Dark Realm TV. They go on every Roku television, every Amazon, Fire Stick, all over the world. I've never discussed anything monetarily with them or anything like that. It's nice to have your name out there and your work out there. So they're really, really great people, and they have a great vision, and they're just down to earth, man. They're fun, and they're funny as hell. I love watching them.
Nice.
Yeah, so we're on there. We're on their Dark Realm TV. Make sure everybody gets over and subscribes. And we're going to be doing some exclusive stuff with them coming out where we're doing it live with them in the woods, and then it will be just on Dark Realm TV. So, stuff like that. So Bigfoot Zone ECBRO, right? That's your channel?
Yep, absolutely.
Right there, guys. Get over there and help Daniel build that, man. He's on his second episode, which is coming out. You can see he's a lot like us. I'm not saying anybody has to be a lot like us. It just so happens he is. And I love that. I love that conversation that you can have with somebody that, I've learned from other people too, where they're different and stuff. And it's like, wow, I didn't think of that. But even hearing it helps confirm a lot of the thoughts that we have and a lot of the methods that we have. Now, we haven't gotten into details on, like, we research in a certain way, and, a lot of people don't believe in gifting chair with food on it. You know what I mean? And some people do, and some people do gifting stumps with gifts on it, it's Mother Nature stuff, and like you said, there's no right or wrong about doing it. We're getting results with it. It's not in our backyard. They're not coming in and eating our kids or anything like that, because we left them a jar of peanut butter. You know what I mean? So, it's not like that. So it's just trying different things. And now we're trying forms of communication with them with these different things. So we've added even golf balls that are colored, and we do asterisk glyphs on the ground and see if they do that. Elder Medicine sent us out a beautiful necklace, and we put that on. And other people will come up with ideas. Matt, one of our members, Ojo's brother, a long time ago, gave us feathers, and we hung the feathers out. So you could do all kinds of different things with the gifting area. And
actually, talking about feathers, I actually did an experiment some years ago using feathers on a rock stack. Well, it started off with just the rock stack itself, where I built the rock stack and come back a week or two later at a time to observe it. Yes, the top rock would be sitting down on the ground next to it. Come back a couple weeks later after putting it back. Well, the rock stack was still there, and there was a big fresh turkey feather laid across right in front of it.
Wow.
Well, I took the turkey feather, lift up the top rock, lay the feather on top, and the rock on top of the feather to hold it there.
Right.
And come back a week and a half or so later, the rock and the feather were on the ground next to it, beside each other. Something was interacting with it. Was the wind strong enough to blow that off? Maybe. It would have to be some strong, gushy wind.
Right.
But I just felt like there was something interacting. I can't prove it was Bigfoot.
Right.
But, it was a fun experiment.
Yeah, and that's what we're doing. And Wojo's kind of the catalyst for that in our group. And he's coming up with these new ideas and things that we can do, and talking with people. I don't know if you know Ernie Davio. Davio is one. He has a great experience in Western Massachusetts when he was hunting out there. And he lives in, Ohio now? Or Pennsylvania? Ohio. And he had a face-to-face encounter with him. And they use hand signs with him. They use like a sign language with him. And different forms of communication and stuff. And Ernie Davio he's huge. He's a great friend of ours. We love him dearly. That dude is so cool, man. And he calls me a lot, and he's like, "Hey, I got," he runs stuff by me all the time. And but yeah, check out his story, man. It's a mind blowing encounter. It's all over the internet. I'm surprised you haven't caught that, because I go clicking, and I'm like, Ernie again? What the hell's he doing? And he's just a good dude, and somebody who's genuine and loves the research and loves the respect aspect of it and being good to one another while doing it.
That was in Greenville, Mass.
Yeah, Greenville, Mass.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that was what's the name of that mountain? I forget that mountain name.
Drake Mountain.
Drake.
So that's one part. I've never been to the western part of Mass before.
Yeah.
I know it's
Yeah. Well, Douglas is in what? Is it in It's not
It's not far from Worcester, Mass.
Yeah, is it towards Blackstone? Towards Blackstone Valley?
Actually, it's not far. My sister went to school in Blackstone. She went to Blackstone Valley Tech. My older sister.
Yep, there you go. Yeah. So you get out there like where the Vogels are out in Russell, Mass area, and we've had some great investigations out there, and they do the Cobble Mountain Critter Festival out there. You maybe ought to look into popping up and hanging out with us for a weekend up there. That'd be a lot of fun, dude. We had our own cabin and everything. It was kick ass, dude. It was so much fun. Then we went out with the researchers at night and did research, and we had experiences out in the woods that were wild, man. It was so cool, dude.
Everywhere. They're there. They're in the.
Yeah, it was pretty wild.
I want to make mention of unless you guys might already know him. I could be wrong. I want to say he's based out of New Hampshire.
Uh-huh.
He is in the New England area, but Mr. Mike Kingsley.
Friggin' Tinsley making an appearance, and his wife don't even let him watch us on Saturday nights. What kind of bullshit is this? No, I never heard of him.
Mr. Mike.
So you guys know. You know who I'm talking about, okay?
yeah, we've heard of him. Yeah,
okay. He seems like a nice guy. I don't know. Maybe you guys know something I don't. I don't
know. No, we love Mike Tinsley. Mike Tinsley is he's awesome, and he's a good dude. And he's become part of our family, really. And
good deal.
Yeah, he'll send a lot of people down, like people that he sees on the internet in our area. He's like, no, you got to go talk to Richie and Wojo. Those are the guys in Southeastern Mass to talk to, and we love that. We appreciate that. Mike's a good dude. What were you going to say about him, by the way? I should have waited and see what he was going to say.
No, I was more or less throwing him out there as a recommendation to, like, hey, maybe you guys could, if you don't know him, you get familiar with him and throw him in your circle,
Yeah, no, he's in our circle. He is. Him and Kelly Porter from the New Hampshire Bigfoot Society. They're absolutely great dudes, and we do the events up in Candia, New Hampshire, at the Charmin Fair Farm. Me and Wojo were the MCs of it this year, and they were there, of course, and it was just awesome. And then we went over to the Vogels, and vice versa. We went to the Vogels, then Charmin Fair, but we all hung out there. We all hung out at the Vogels, and that place was absolutely lit. Those guys were funny as shit at night. Matt Moniz. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to throw back in 2017. I actually met a group of guys from Massachusetts that were I met them at the Ohio Bigfoot Conference, and the Squatchachusetts with her. Yeah.
They're associated.
I can't remember who all their names are. It's been so long.
Yeah,
but
we're good with their names. They're associated with the four-letter word.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'll talk to you backstage.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, we'd rather discuss Tinsley. That's how low down that. No, I'm just kidding. Now, we love everybody here at Banter with Richie B. They just don't, maybe don't love us. We're not.
If they don't love you, they need to get over themselves and just chill out and relax.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Because we've created our own community. Like everybody on the side here, we love those people, man. They're our friends, and we just haven't met them yet. But we know them so well, and we have so much fun together, and they're so supportive, and they understand the community that we're trying to set up. We're trying to change the community. We're trying to change everything's mine, and if you didn't discover it, it's probably not real, and all that bullshit. We're not playing that game, man. We don't do that, dude. We just we got our circle up around New England, and if you want to come in and be respectful, that everybody is welcome. But if you want to come in and go fairy tales, you know what I mean, then you're going to get a little pushback from us, Or you want to come in and say, oh, that's a double bear print. Shit like that when, I'm holding a print up, on the internet. I don't need that shit. There's no need of that. You weren't there. You didn't get it. Shut your mouth. Just because it's not yours, don't be sad. Just get your boots on and get out in the woods like a man and find your own. How's that?
That's right.
Oh, sorry. All right, my meds wore off. Stop. You got me going here. Stop mentioning names. No more name dropping for you, Daniel.
People have stories. People have stories.
Well,
let them talk.
There is another guy. I'm just joking.
I'm gonna kill the guest tonight. No, we've had a lot of great experiences with everybody, and I've learned everything I could, good or bad. I've learned something from everybody to make me a better researcher and to help, hopefully, spread that love and spread, for me, I feel, a good way. I'm not saying right or wrong. I'm saying a good way of researching. you know, and it just comes down to common human courtesy, man. The way I teach my kids, I don't say, hey kids, if everybody doesn't like anything you do, or, you know, they think of a game and you don't think of it, you tell them it sucks. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I don't do that for my kids. I teach them love. You know, I teach them happiness. I teach them respect of their fellow man. You know what I mean? Don't judge people for any reason, race, religion, sex, whatever. I don't care. I don't care about that. But if you're a shitty person, you're a shitty person. And beware of shitty people. And that's where I go about my research and the way I live, you know? So that's the way I feel, man.
As Mike Ray says, not Paul again.
Oh, not Paul again. Mike Gray goes, not Paul again.
We're going to make history, Paul.
Yeah, Paul, your wife's business is going to be into. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, here we go. Check this out. Where was this found, Daniel Benoit?
This was up on the lower ridge of the across the opposite side of the lake in my main research area. And this is not the first time for me to find something like this, but this was what I was mentioning earlier. Actually, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier or not, but talking about the woven trees and the different species of trees combined, crisscross and interwoven together. I found this very fascinating. It very much stood out to me, as you guys see here. You know, all the things were just, I don't know what to think of it. It was just, I found it to be fascinating. That's one thing about some of the structures and formations I do come across. I'm not going to say what they are, what they're not, but some of them will speak for themselves. Some of the ones that you'll be putting up here. Mm-hmm. But this is one of the ones that were crisscrossed with a little woven action going on here.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And we'd call these an asterisk in our area. We found, because it just looks like it's a little asterisk. I mean, look at it. It's self-explanatory. But this is what I'm talking about. Go into that right now. Walk right up to it with your human eyes, and you explain to me, or go backwards like I suggested, how the magic whirlywinds laid it all down like that. Tell me how, when there's all these trees standing straight the fuck up all around it. I'm not buying the magic whirlwind thing. I've been out in the woods enough to know the difference, you know what I mean, to when I could see something with thumbs happening, you know? I love that, man.
Yeah, and that's one of the things about a lot of the formations I come across that I find very interesting or sometimes fascinating, that I'm looking at this and you have to ask yourself, did weather put this together? You know, I'm not saying for this one, but if weather did do this, how is this possible? Right. You know?
Yeah.
Because if you look at some of these are actually, if you follow them out, some of them are rooted in the ground. You know, they've been pushed over and combined and locked into each other like that.
Yeah. So apparently the wind only lands in that one spot from every different angle. Yeah. Gotcha.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. No, Wojo left and now he's back. I don't know what happened. Must have been that Android phone.
No, I was actually zooming in, but it wouldn't let me zoom out. Go back.
Oh, you zoomed out all right, bro.
But Daniel, just like I had a really close up because I have an Android. But anyway, the amazing part is, again, there's no scuff marks where they stop meeting, where they're interlocking or what have you. There's no it's just perfect placement. There's no there's no scour of the bark where it's being placed. It's just amazing.
Yeah, so the wind's not like shattering, shaking it and shaking it and shaking it. Right. And that's one of the things that we go by too, is what, like Wojo just said, is not, and you can see what kind of trees are those, you know? I don't know. They look really hard, like a gum-like tree. You know what I mean? Those real hard.
I wouldn't say gum, but I can't remember that. But one over off to the left, no, it wasn't. I know there's some dogwoods in there. Most of the trees in this area were hardwoods.
Yeah,
there's some pines in that particular area, but there was a lot of hardwoods in that spot there.
Well, that's a good point though. Think about it. This is all hardwood. The ones I see in the background are mostly pine trees, but yet the hardwood's blown over.
Right.
Well, isn't that kind of opposite?
And these are about anywhere from 1.5 inches to 2 inches round in diameter.
Oh yeah, dude. I love it. I think that's awesome. Look at all the people know. They've seen this. They've seen this type, and this is comparing notes, right? In a sense. Now we don't have anything of that size, although that one asterisk we have is almost like an umbrella. That thing is awesome. But
Yeah.
not so much necessarily like this, but the structure thought. I'm going to the next one. How'd I do? Oh, here.
Nice.
This is the one we seen, but with smaller trees, right, Woj? Remember we found that teepee-like structure the other day?
Yes.
Oh, I have found smaller teepee type structures, but this one here, I don't know if you can see. Actually, over to the bottom right, that was my girlfriend at the time. I had her stand there.
Oh, shit.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Dude.
yeah, she's standing there. That's how big this one is.
How tall is your girl?
Yeah, she's over to the right on the bottom to the right of that. She's standing right next to there. I said, go stand next to her so I can use you as a scale. You know.
Yes. Yeah, dude. What's that?
How tall is she?
How tall is she? That's really personal.
Well, no,
Why don't you ask her age too?
like
I'm 60. Yeah. She was actually older than me a couple years, but I'm 6 foot. She was like 5'6", 5'7".
that's just
Maybe, yeah.
Does everybody see the size of that thing? Guys, listen. Once again, proven that size does matter.
That's like 25, 30 right there.
No, that's got to be. There's some of those are even more than that. Remember the 40-foot X?
Yeah.
Imagine the 40-foot X.
A big 40-foot
And
X.
technically, I can tell you this was in my backyard. And when I say my backyard, the whole Blue Ridge Mountains is in my backyard. I mean, I got view of the whole mountains right behind me. This was on top of the mountain ridge. So.
Wow, dude. And look at this.
Yeah.
There's a little 90 in front of it. See a little 90?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There was a few of them around up there, but that's what stood out to us from. We spotted that at a good distance. That stood out to us at a good distance. And we had to go approach it. And we had to investigate that. So
I can't put comments up in people's faces. Why would they build it like that? Sorry, I'm talking to the others. Once the med wears off, I start talking to the others. Every time I put a comment up.
Like looking at her size compared to the size of the trees, like they got to be like 20 plus.
What?
Easily.
In diameter?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. That's crazy, dude.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I love it. Oh, here we go. Now this looks like our woods, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. Look at that kafuckery. I love it.
Yeah. There's a couple. I have another one. I think I shared another one very similar to this. But if you notice, there's several of them broke and bent over. None of these other bigger trees, if you look, they were already broke and bent over. And these other ones were fresher, where they got broke and bent. And some of them, as you see, some of them go underneath all that. So underneath, and the one in the center the broken part kind of goes behind all of it. So.
Oh, yeah. See, that's the good thing about being here too, though. We're very well versed on structures. We have areas. So when what got my attention? All right, what got my attention? I don't want to talk about me, but what got my attention was I was hearing walking around out back in the yard, like beyond my property, 3 acres out or whatever, and I would hear snap, snap, bang, snap, snap, bang, and it would go on all the time. And I'm going, and my area bottlenecks, so you have to know how to get into this spot. There's a river, there's a conservation field, and then there's houses just along the road. It's not really a neighborhood. And I would go, who the hell's out there, you know? And then it happened again at 10 at night, and I was looking for a headlamp or a flashlight, and it didn't do anything. And then when I went, hey, like it was walking, and I yelled, hey, and then it just stopped, froze. Like it intellectually knew to stop. And that's what blew my mind. I was up till 3 a.m. that night on the couch, at least 3 a.m, going, what is out in my woods? It doesn't make any sense. So when I went out to that area where I thought the sounds were coming from, I stood there and kind of in fear, but also in awe of what I called the high school. It was all medium-sized to smaller type trees, but they're all debarked. They're snapped, bent, pushed over, like all over, just laying like a bomb went off, but it's all green everywhere else. And then there's these 90s, and then there's these X's, and I'm standing there going like this. And I'm just by myself, way too far away from my property. And I remember going, oh, shit, I got to get out of here. Like whatever's out here did that. And that's strong. And I got to get out of here. So these were the things I started piecing together. So we have the high school, the college, the university, different areas of just destruction in our woods, man. I'd love you to come up here sometime, especially seeing how like these structures and stuff, and you're into that. I would love for a guy like you just to walk out here. I won't say shit to you. You'll just go out there and do your own research right there in front of our very eyes. And I'm telling you, dude, your input would be monumental, I think, for this area. It's quite a match. Would you not agree, Wojo?
Oh, 100%, Rich.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to be up there too, because there's areas that I was only a young kid, in some of the areas I would love to research. You know, looking back, I was like, man,
Oh
if I knew more about Bigfoot, or if I
yeah,
was into it, I would have been looking around as a kid in some of the forests I used to play in. But there's times I wish I was more aware of it at a younger age than
yeah,
from when I first started. You know,
right.
because I know Massachusetts, and a lot of people probably think, okay, a lot of people get this mindset, especially down south here. Oh, you're from Boston? No, I ain't from the city. You know, Massachusetts ain't all city.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
have
they
more
always,
woods and mountains than you realize. Because, like, I even though I have not been to the western part of Massachusetts, people don't realize it borders Canada, or New York, upstate New York, and going up into Canada.
right. Yeah,
You
right.
know, so
Yeah.
people don't realize that. You know, we have a lot of wilderness up there.
No,
So, not to
100%.
mention just northern Massachusetts, you got Maine and Vermont. Those are big forest states, you know. So
Yeah, well, if you go per capita, they're some of the highest. So some of the
yep.
highest ranking. I think you got 89, 91, and 93, I think is New Hampshire or something. I don't know. It's up there really high. And Massachusetts is in the 80s as well, as far as percentage of forestry per
Mm-hmm.
person, basically, per capita, so they say.
Right.
Is this in Virginia right here? Because you said it was out back of your house. So
Well, no, this particular one, this is out in the national forest, which is about almost an hour west of me.
right.
Um, yeah, now because of the George Washington National Forest, where I do a lot of my main research, it's over 150,000 acres plus then some. Because a
Wow.
lot of it connects into the other states, like West
Jesus.
Virginia, for example.
Oh,
So, and not to mention, it also connects to the Jefferson National Forest, which is not as large, but they all intertwine and connect. If you look up on the maps, you'll see how large for yourself the boundary lines. Like basically, it runs through the whole Appalachia. You know.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, dude, it's crazy. I think Ohio as well. Yeah, Mike. I'm just picking on New England because I'm in New England and we don't get our due, man. We're gonna though watch. So I got some stuff coming out that it is definitely gonna put us on the map.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
I mean, Western Mass, it's just loaded with stories.
Yep.
We talk to the Vogels all the time. And I'll tell you, they do have some great stories out there. Sasquatch. Oh,
Dude, this stuff is that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, this one here, I was way back in the woods when I came across this. So this is several years ago on this one. This wasn't recent. But I will tell you, this area in particular, of course, right out in front of there's a stream bed that runs through here, and which I thought was interesting, that this structure was not far from a water source.
Yep.
This area, I've gone into this area several times by myself. Never heard a thing. I found some interesting things like this, for example. But there was one time when my oldest daughter, when she was still a teenager, I took her into the area. We got in. We had just got in, but so far, you got to cross a creek to get into where you have to start hiking in and really exploring. But not long after we got across that stream, we started walking in. Now, keep in mind, all the times I've been in this area, I never heard nothing. I bring her in there, all of a sudden we hear all kinds of hoots and hollers and weird sounds. And she's like, "Daddy, are those coyotes?" I was like, "No." So the best way for me to describe it, when we heard these sounds, it was like walking into the chimpanzee or the primate exhibit at a zoo, where they all started sounding off and going crazy. So it's like, yeah, I got a female with me. What's up?
Yeah, no, well, we've heard that type of thing too. And I don't know,
Yep.
Alex Petikoff?
Yeah. I never met him. I know who he is.
Yeah. He was on my show, and I've met him a couple times, and he's a really good dude. And I asked him some questions about that. But they would go out to that cabin out in Alaska with small monsters. Yeah, and they said anytime they brought a woman over there, they would hear the baby cry. There's a baby, like a baby crying coming from the woods, which we've experienced here in our research area, which was pretty wild. Unfortunately, Wojo missed that one, but me, his brother, and it was Lisa, I think. I don't know, was Andy there? I can't remember, but we all stopped short. We're like, wait, what was that? Was that a baby crying? I'm like, oh, no, I'm out. Sorry, guys. Got to go.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing. I mean, me being the wildlife side of me is coming out. So to me, I would be cautious about that too. Not just that, to me, sounds like a cat again. So that's a possibility. I'm not saying it is, but between a woman crying and a baby crying, that could be a wild cat. So
I'm just glad you didn't tell me it was Mike Tinsley. I'll take a cat anytime.
Yeah.
No, well, Tinsley. I tell you
Oh
what.
my.
Oh, the numbers look like they've changed actually. Forestry wise, Maine is at 89% forested. New Hampshire is 84. We're only at 67 now. I remember that being almost. I thought it was 80s. Maybe I read it wrong. Vermont's at 78%. I'm in the middle of reading something, sir. New York is 63%. There's something people don't think about because they always think of New York like like the Boston comment you made. And to answer your question, Ohio is only at 31% forestry. Forested.
Only 31%.
Yeah, in Ohio.
What about
And they
Pennsylvania?
have Ohio's supposed to be like a big hotspot for Bigfoot sightings.
Yeah, well, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Good point, dude. That's a great point he brings up. Pennsylvania is 59%. Let's see. West Virginia, 79%. That makes sense. Virginia, is it Virginia? Where am I? Virginia, West Virginia. 63%. So you're right there. You're right there with Massachusetts, dude.
But see, now I would think. Now you mentioned 50. What was it for Pennsylvania? 50-something percent.
59.
And that's a much larger state than Virginia. And they have a lot. It's weird being up there and getting to know a lot of the areas. There's a lot of forests up there. You think it would be. I mean, those numbers, they're kind of hard to think about unless you've been in those states and seen them for yourself.
But again, like the common size matters. That's what they're going by too. They're going by the size of it, and per square, per capita.
Oh,
It's a combination of all the numbers. It's not just as flat out only 63% is trees. It's based off of the mass. You know what I mean? So
that makes sense.
Yeah, like Texas is 37%, right? Florida is at 51%, right? But in Florida, what do they consider forestry? You know what I mean? What are they looking for in forestry, right? So, but then you go out to the great North Pacific. You got 53% in Washington, 49% in Oregon, and only 33%.
Wow.
Yeah, 33% in California. So, things like this, again, if you're researching little bits of information like that, it'll blow your mind. I mean, it actually help you out a lot. And I think I don't know what freaking state I'm looking at.
It's Alaska.
There's Georgia, Alabama's next to Georgia, right? That one's at 71%. Georgia's at 67. South Carolina's at 68, and Mississippi's at 65. There's a whole row of pretty high Florida as far Alaska, forestry wise, says 35%.
What?
Yeah, but wait a minute. Let me see what they're going by here, because it says forest coverage in each area. So forest coverage. So again, you're talking size, right? So you have a lot of waterways up there in Alaska. Tons and tons.
That's true.
Tons of water, right? Tons of it, dude. You have a lot of frozen area up north that doesn't get trees, really. It's just frozen like North Pole type shit. So I can make sense, but either way, is it not mind-blowing and surprising to hear those numbers? And,
it is.
Yeah, and you look at the Northeast. You look at Northeast is the greenest of them all. From New York all the way over is just dark green, man. Connecticut's at 55%. Rhode Island's at 54%. Those are the two lowest in New England.
And that's, with that being said, with what you just said right there, the thought that popped in my head should be the reason why maybe our reports are smaller than the West Coast, because we have more coverage.
You laugh, but that's not a bad theory, bro. This is what I'm talking about.
They have more places to hide out here.
Yeah, you're a good thinker. You're with less land. But I tell everybody, listen, in our area where we research, I'm dealing with a 10-mile radius. You know what I mean? The acreage is very low. It's in the hundreds. A lot of people, like you were talking 1,500 acres or whatever you said. You know what I mean? Like, we have a very good chance of having that 40-foot encounter because our area is so much smaller and we're in a really forested section. You know what I mean? So if you get into that area and pound it, man, and that small area, it's going to happen. I hope it's a good way when it does happen,
And some people saying that Pennsylvania is like the Bigfoot capital of the world now.
Oh, look at this. Robin. Hello, Robin. And by the way, I saw you in here talking. I don't believe I've met you. Pleasure.
Yeah.
Daniel, I'm in Geneva, Ohio by Lake Erie. The Geneva State Park just had a sighting about 2 months ago. They don't want anyone to know because it is peak tourist season. Interesting. I think that would bring tourists in when you're talking Ohio, right?
You would get the right kind of tourists that you would want in there, especially if That's like the Ohio Bigfoot Conference. They make a big farce at the Ohio State Park, right there in Cambridge, Ohio, where they have the Bigfoot Festival conference every year.
Yeah.
You know, there's been so many sightings inside that park.
Yeah.
But they even got the police officers that work the park sharing what they learn from others. You know, so it draws more people in every year, and you know that. Just outside the road, up the road, in that little country store up the road from the park, yeah, they got Bigfoot everything up there. So it's a big tourist thing.
Yeah.
Bigfoot sells.
Yeah, Bigfoot does sell. You know what I mean? In that type of setting, absolutely. You know what I mean? Let's go here. I'm going to go to the next one here because I don't want to keep you too much longer, but I'm really intrigued. Now, a lot could be said here. Now, those are all barkless, right?
What? Oh yeah, there's no bark on them whatsoever.
Yeah, none. Yeah, that's a thing, right? There's got to be something said for that. I mean, food, beef jerky. I don't know. It's one of the things that I discovered. I realized early when I was researching my backyard is that I feel that when it's fresh and they peel it, it curls under. If they don't peel it and it just dries, it curls up towards the sun.
Yeah. Now, I believe that these were gathered from the ground. I believe these were already laying on the ground. I believe they were just gathered and put together like this for whatever reason. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
I also used this image on one of my book covers. So
I did. I saw that. You got 3 books out. What's the name of your books?
Well, the newest one is it's a Bigfoot field guide in an objective view. I also have Theory versus Facts, and Going Against the Grain of Science is a subtitle. And then, Learning Bigfoot. So,
yeah, that's the one I heard about, Learning Bigfoot. I thought that was cool, man. I thought that was cool. Now, where did you come to mind that you were going to be an author?
Well, basically, what I did was take a lot of these books are based off of my research and my views. I do share some other people's encounters and stories in some of these books, but these books are mainly just my research thrown together and covering different grounds and looking at different angles and and kind of getting people to think about a few things.
Yeah, no, I love it, man. I love it. Do you need cell service to be able to use that app? Which app are you talking about, Martin? Hello, Martin from New Hampshire, my friend. Which app are you talking about? He just comes in and just shoots. Did I miss comments or something? He's just like, hey, what apps? Like, what the hell is that?
If they are referring to the X-infrared thermal T2 Pro, no. Once you download the app, it's there for whenever you need it. Because I've used it in the national forest where I'm usually at most of the time. There's no phone service or signal out there whatsoever. So. Yeah, you as long as you have the app downloaded, you should be good. It does not require internet, Wi-Fi, or nothing.
Well, we hope that answers your question, Mr. Martin. Thank you for stopping.
Assuming that's what he's asking, because I think that's the only thing we talked about apps earlier. So.
Exactly.
Well, great to see you. Nice to say hello.
Yeah, hi, Martin. Hey, that's my boy. He's good. Let's see. Let's keep. What is happening here, by the way?
All right, so these are a series of tracks that I collected and made casts of over the years. Now, I will point this out in this particular picture, top far right, that was made from my own foot. I use that for comparison purposes.
Oh, great, man. Have you gotten your toes checked out?
No.
Do you think it's the Crocs doing that to them?
I actually never wore Crocs back then, so... Yeah, these casts are older tracks.
Dude, that's a great idea, man. You're a great thinker. I like this. And you can see different types of the feet that are different types because you can see the shapes perfectly fine. Am I allowed
one on the bottom far right, I know you can't see it. It doesn't show too well, but that was actually a bear paw track. I got a couple bear tracks, so nice. I collect them too. So
good. Now, can I ask you what type of material you use? Am I allowed to do that, or is that a trade?
Oh yeah. I use plaster of Paris.
Yeah. We've done that. We've been in the
some people believe in using a dental floss cast, which is
Yeah.
I never looked into it. I never tried it, but if you know how to mix your material, it works just fine.
We use that in the ice. The dental bone one was from the ice one, and the cool thing was we talked to a lot of people, and they talked about just keep sprinkling snow in it so it doesn't overheat and ruin anything, and ruin the print. You know what I mean? So you keep it cool because it will heat up when it's contorting into its shape type of stuff.
Another thing to throw out there, and I've never bought it myself, but especially in finding tracks in snow. They make I think you can buy it off of Amazon, if I'm not mistaken. But it's a spray. It's a foam spray that you can use to spray in a snow track where it'll mold into the shape of the track without destroying the details.
Oh,
so,
I love it. I've heard this before. Was it Tim from Ohio Bigfoot Researchers that told us that, Woj? I think it was Tim. I think it was Tim.
It's supposedly it's something that the FBI or some agency uses for their evidence collection. So,
gotcha.
But it's something you can buy over the counter. I mean, you can buy off of Amazon. I don't know if your local hardware store might have something like that. I don't know. I never really looked into it. So
right. What's your favorite one, bro?
As far as what?
What's your favorite print? I got a favorite print. What's your favorite print?
Well, I actually have a couple that are not posted here that were probably a little bigger. Most of these average anywhere from 12 inches up to 15, 16 inches. So, but most of my average tracks were around 15, 16 inches. I have found a couple longer ones on higher ground, but over the years. So
interesting. Now, any of these you think related? As far as, I'm not saying they probably all are at some point, but I mean, as far as in the area where you mentioned you probably had like a family type unit around you, are any of these within a family type unit, or are they all just individual places?
Some of these were found not far from where I had the encounters, but not in the exact locations. So it's kind of hard to say. Yeah, now, I have come across a couple tracks that were much wider and larger. I had found a couple together where I believe they were from the same subject, so.
Right. Interesting. Do you use Scaniverse at all, the 3D scanner?
No, I was starting to look into that because I was learning more about that and asking questions from Chet Nichols regarding that, because he's the one that he practices that, which now I do have an app I finally downloaded. It took me a long time to find one.
Android.
I played around with it one time. I have to get used to it a little bit more, but
the Android version sucks. You know what I mean? Because it's Android. So what I do is I believe in the theory of multiple pieces of evidence validates your final result. So I take the picture of the print, right? You get different angles. You take your regular picture, your still shots, and then you go into your Scaniverse and you 3D scan that print, and then you cast your print. So with that one piece of evidence that you just walked up on, you now have 3 pieces of evidence, right? So it helps kind of lock that in. And I find the 3D scanner to be absolutely amazing. Petikoff actually told me about that a while back, and I've been using it basically ever since. Not as much as D-Hoot would like me to, but I use it a lot. Right, D-Hoot? She's a little stickler she's a stickler for my 3D scanner. But yeah, I love this. Great collection, man. That's amazing stuff, dude. Amazing stuff. What's going on here, bro?
This is just one of the small caves in the area.
So you got caves. We don't have caves, dude. Yeah. I want caves.
I'm sure you guys have something up there. I mean, if they're not exactly, like a deep den, those are like a type of cave, depends how far in they go. But anything where a animal or any living thing could go into or take shelter from the elements,
Oh, I got pictures that'll blow your mind of these huts, dude. They look like they're bent. Their trees are bent at the ground. They're like little saplings, and there's like 30 of them to make this formation. I did a 3D scan of the whole thing. You should see it. It's wild, bro. Listen, if you think we got caves, then you got to get your ass up here and find them. How's that? I got them now.
Yep. Yeah, we'll find them.
Gotta find them, man. Oh, look at this. Something that we're very familiar with. Is that a saber-toothed rat?
It looks small in the picture, but it's actually a bear skull. So.
Oh, God. No, thanks. We don't have to deal with that, Woj.
Yeah, that was found out during one of my... Now, these are the bigger tracks I was telling you about.
Oh!
Yeah, these 3 found pretty much together, close together.
Oh, that one on the left is my favorite.
Yeah. Oh, those are around 17 and a half to 18 inches long.
So,
Yeah, you see how that you got that little bend to it, but it's got that little hail slide almost looking area. See it, Woj?
And these ones here were found where I had what I described to you guys earlier, talking about a very large, heavy bipedal subject walking away from me. That's where
Really?
those were found. Yeah,
Oh,
in that
shit.
exact area.
Those are
So,
big boys, dude. Are those 18 to 22?
they're around 18.
Yeah. See,
Now,
I have pictures of a snow print in my backyard because me and Wojo decided to go out because it just snowed and then it was going to freeze over like 0 degrees. And I was like, dude,
Yeah.
we gotta get out now. We got to get out now. And we did. We went out my backyard and we were walking around. I'm like, and we did. We found a print, and you could see the toe separation in it and everything. And it was one of them was close to 22. There could have been some slide involved. I'm not saying that's exactly how big it was, but anyways. But the funny part was, when I left, I sent it to my kids that still live in the house on that property with my first wife, and I was like, "Hey, this lives out back. You guys have a great day. Love you." Because you can't mistake it. You know exactly what it is. There's no explanation.
Yeah, and as you can see, the small track, that's the front a bear track paw. I found that in some clear mud. I casted that as well. So
no, I think I think it's a great comparison to do so, because to see a double bear print, like some people say, that's completely ridiculous, and you don't even know what a bear print is.
Yeah. So, now, some of the rear hind foot of a bear, I've been very fortunate to come across some that I wish I had the plaster to cast some of them. Yeah. But I will tell you, I mean, if you see enough of them, I'm talking about, like I said, the hind foot of a bear. It is very humanoid looking. It can be very deceiving.
I can see that.
Know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but look at the heel. The heels are usually more narrow and pointier compared to somebody like, a human or a Sasquatch, the alleged Sasquatch.
Yeah, those are big boys, dude. Oh boy, man,
especially the one in the middle, Rich.
Dude, that dude is eating good in Virginia, bro. Wojo,
we have a lot of wildlife here, so
yeah. Wojo, you keep cutting out with your audio. I don't even know you're talking anymore. I look over and your lips are moving.
Oh,
it's like we're married. All I see is this.
No, I was saying is the heel points that we find are like between 6 to 7 inches wide, but looking at that one in the middle, looks like it's like 9.
Oh, that's probably good.
9. These were anywhere from, like, talking about the heel from 6 to 7 inches around the heel, and probably around anywhere from 7 to 8.5. Yeah, I guess you could say 9, close to 9. Yeah, up top.
That's awesome, dude. I love what you're doing. I love that you're comparing, having your own footprint, putting it in front of all the other prints, and it gives people the understanding, like, hey, when you show these evidence and what have you, you can see the difference between a human footprint and what's out in the woods.
Well, the hail is incredible. This was found in peat moss, and I did a 3D scan of it, and the 3D scan's absolutely mind blowing. But then you take my hail, I'm an 11.5 foot, almost flat. I almost didn't get into the military because my arches were sunk. So it's spread out is my point. And there's a picture of me in one of my videos with my hail on this thing, and my hail looks like a baby hail compared to this one's like 7.5 or something like that. Whoa, I can't remember, 7.25.
Yours was tiny.
Tiny, dude, tiny. But I tried to get the front of it but it was all in peat moss, so I knew it was mostly hail, and I wasn't going to get much up front. But I wanted to keep the hail forever because if you see the 3D scan, and that's what I mean. Because of that, you get the 3D scan and you compare it to that, and then boom, it locks it in. You can't argue it. It's nice. I think those are awesome, dude. Oh yeah, look at these ones, Woj. That looks like our woods too.
Now this one here is a much older picture, but what I found fascinating about this one here, see the tree coming up from the left? If you follow it all the way up, that's the root balls up in the tree.
Oh, there it is. Whoa, look at root ball.
That's a root ball, yeah. That one there apparently got laid up there first, and the other ones, there's 2 others that come into that. They had been getting put up there after that one. Yeah. So, but I came across that, like I said, I was surprised. That's the only reason I took this picture, because the root ball was up in the air, wedged in those trees.
Oh, that is badass, dude.
And this is not even in my main research area. This is part of the national forest, but so many miles, probably more towards the south of my main research area.
Yeah.
So
love it, dude.
But,
I love that. I love that.
You found like trees that are, branches, like maybe like 20-foot branches upside down.
Yeah.
Falling up like a pine tree, but between.
Yeah, it'll go straight up the tree, man, and it ends up between the branches. And the other thing that Wojo brought up a long time ago, a lot of these trees that land in our area, they're good 8 inches around, maybe even more in some cases. And they're up at a tree and they're leaning on this little twig up there. And we're like, well, if it just fell with full force, that twig don't stand a chance.
Right.
How's that twig holding it up? Oh, it's holding up because it was placed. It was put up against the tree and then kind of dropped to the strongest part of that little branch. Otherwise, it just snaps it and comes right to the ground. There's no way. It had to be put there. It's not, these are the things we talk about eliminating the magic whirlywinds. Is this another one of those cool caves that you got?
Yeah, this is another one in the area. But this one here is actually up on much higher ground.
Yeah, it looks like it's up. Yeah.
Yeah.
They got caves, bro. I'm so jealous.
How tall is that?
Daniel,
if you were to walk into it, how tall do you think that is?
The mouth opening?
Well, it's not a walk-in kind of cave. It's kind of like you have to get down.
Yes.
These are here, I believe, as far as I know, these are bear caves. I'm assuming.
But they could be used for something like that. That's smart. That knows what to do. And there's a storm coming in or whatever the case, or somebody coming up on them, and they can just snuggle right in there and back right in. The huts. The pictures of the huts we got is exactly what it's used for. Just like this, it's side to side, open in the front. You know what I mean? It covers them.
Right.
You can go right in and wiggle right in. And as a matter of fact, I did a 3D scan on the floor or the base of it. And you could see that it was dug in. I mean, not dug in, but the weight of whatever was laying on there was really pushing it down. So it's pretty wild. I'll send you some pictures of my stuff, man. I'd like to hear what you think. You know what I mean? So
sure.
I'd love that. I'd love to get your opinion of them. And you'll see a lot of similarities to the area that we're in. And we got some real quick because we didn't really touch on vocals yet. Have you had a lot of vocals? You deal with a lot of whoops and all that stuff?
Over the years, yes, I've actually had whoops. Some of them very close.
Yes.
Which has been quite fascinating to have them so close. But I've heard, moans, exactly what I would describe as a moan. I've heard moans before in various different howls. I've heard screams, so it all varies though, but it's been pretty interesting. I've heard multiple tree knocks. I've gotten responses from my tree knocks with other tree knocks. That's been always fun, it's exciting to get a response from, those. I've had others that cancel with me that would give off a vocalization and we would get a response back, which that's been awesome, I never got an actual response from my vocals. I'll play around and give off vocals here and there. I never got a response from them, but I have gotten responses from doing tree knocks. And some of those responses came fairly close. I would have, for example, there's one time I was hiking with a couple people and over in the area where that one tree structure you shared earlier, where there were the big dead limbs put together like a teepee. Well, in that same area, before we found that, we had just got done hiking up and working our way up that ridge. It was kind of a steep area to climb up, but we got up there and we were sitting down on the ground, catching our breaths, having a drink of water. And I had my tree knock with me. I said, guys, I'm going to do a tree knock, and I give off one good solid tree knock. And they're still sitting down on the ground. I'm standing up. And all of a sudden, from the opposite ridge that we just came from, looking back at it, was a tree knock down to the left. Right after that tree knock was a second, I would say a third tree knock because that was the first one. The third one came from up the ridge a little further. So we were having my tree knock and then a response over here and then another one up there.
Yeah.
So, and that was in the middle of the daytime. So,
yep.
Which I thought was interesting. So
I dealt with a lot of stuff in my backyard in the daytime. At any time, it was crazy. At any time, I was dealing with that stuff. It wasn't, the daytime ones were obviously the ones that got my attention at first because I was mostly out in the daytime in my yard, like most people are, right? Like everybody says, most sightings are in the daylight. Well, yeah, because most people are out in the daylight. and, it makes sense. You know what I mean? And mine got to be mind blowing, but the night ones taking all type of different type of effect on your body. Those are different, man. When you start getting activity in the nighttime, it just feels different to me. Does it feel different to you?
Yes and no. I mean, yeah. I mean, because the nighttime is it's a different place. You know,
Well, truly,
it changes a lot of your perspective and your mindset. You know, compared to what you see during the daytime, and compared to what happens at nighttime. So,
right,
big time,
right.
definitely.
No, I love it, man. I love it, man. Woj, you got any questions for him before we go?
No, I'm just really fascinated on that how much the similarities that we have, and you're a great researcher. I just love listening to you because it sounds a lot like what we're doing. Um, but one other, I do have a question. Have you ever been zapped, or has anybody in your group been zapped from any infrasound of any sort?
I want to say yes, not to me, but I've had some things happen. I mean, some of my team members experienced some things. We don't know if that's exactly what it was, but there's some things that's happened out there that's kind of left us puzzled. You know, there was one time when I camped with my grandson. I guess I will throw this part out there. Somebody said it when I was when I spoke about it. I forget who told me this, but there was one particular night, my grandson, he had already fallen asleep. I'm laying there, and I got a freaking migraine that came on, and I just could not break it. I mean, I didn't even have no medicine to take for it or nothing. I was suffering. It got to the point. It got so bad where I had to come out of the tent, and I puked. I vomited. It was so bad,
Mm.
And it took a while. Finally, after maybe a couple hours, it finally dropped, and I was able to finally fall asleep because I couldn't fall asleep the way I was feeling.
Yeah.
But somebody said you might have been getting zapped. Well, maybe, I don't know, but in that particular area where I've taken my grandson twice, I've had activity there in the past, both with my daughter and one other individual back in 2013, where we actually got whooped at like 3 or 4 times in a row, right behind his Jeep,
Mhm.
and, because there was one time when my daughter camped there with me when she was still a teenager. I was doing a video on one of my old phones. I'm talking, and then in the middle of my talk, right behind our tent inside the tree line, tree knock.
Oh.
And my phone picked it up too. It's an old field video. I have that on my YouTube channel somewhere,
Mm.
but I don't know. I mean, if that's being zapped, I don't know. But
Well,
I tend to believe it had a lot to do with the time of year because it was a couple months ago when the pollen was real bad,
Right.
and I think I just think that had a lot to do with it. So I don't know. That's just me. So.
Well, Richie, you could tell him like what happened to you in your symptoms.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to keep him here all night, but yeah, I went 3 to 4 days, and I was curled up in my bed, and I got to the point where I couldn't really move, dude. I was immobilized. I was tired. I was drained. I wasn't really throwing up or anything like that, but I was feeling like sick. And Wojak was calling, and I'm like, dude, I can't go out today. I'm sick. Got to the point where I went to the doctors. And they took blood and everything. I went through the whole thing. And then like the third day, Wojo was like, dude, I've been doing some research. I talked to the Vogels, blah, blah, blah. Everybody's kind of thinking you might've got zapped because during that time we had this weird like hum vibration and stuff come through the woods. And, oh yeah, I was like, and you could feel it come through the trees. Yeah. And it was one of the times after that, it was one of the times that they ran by us. Twice we've had them run by us from about 60 feet alongside of us, just crashing through the trees. Boom, I was down. And it was like I said, 3 days, almost 4 days. And then by the 4th day, I started feeling good. And then we had another experience just like that. I think it was within months of each other, or maybe even a month. And it ran by again. And then boom, I said to him, dude, I got hit again. Because now I knew that I had the same exact symptoms, the same exact timeline, everything, dude. It was 3 to 4 by the 4th day, I started feeling good again. And I was like, dude, I got hit again. And it was with both experiences of them running by us in the woods. But there was that hum that came through the trees as well, I remember, in one of the investigations. And the other one was, remember when it ran by us, we had that whistle, too, that came through that we thought was more of a signal to them to kind of distract us because we had one kind of cornered anyway, long story. But I was wondering if even in their whistle is a form of infrasound. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So with the infrasound, we have infrasound we believe actually recorded. And some of it sounds like a low, deep hum, which is way down on the pole as far as sound goes. And then there's one that's a real high pitch, almost digital sound. It's really, really wild shit. And it's right around the time we're like, did you hear that? Did you guys hear that? And some people were like, nope. And other people were like, yeah, dude, Wojo said to me, I go, yeah, it sounded digital, dude. And then it came through recorded digital. And then another time there was all 5 of us standing around in the middle of one of our investigations, and we took a break and we're talking, and this loud like vroom came through the trees, and everybody was like, whoa, did you got? And everybody felt it, and everybody heard it.
Right through the chest. Like,
wow.
Yeah.
That's how it was.
It's some wild shit. And like I said, everything we do is right there on YouTube live. You can see it happening live. So you know what you're experiencing. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So zapping, I think, is a thing. And I think there's a lot more to these creatures than meets the eye. Mimicking and all that. And like you said, anything's possible, you know, and anything needs to be open and discussed and be respectful when you're discussing it so we can get further into this field of research and find out and not just have that encounter, but maybe have that interaction, which I think is different. I think an encounter is one thing and an interaction is what we're kind of going for, right? Jane Goodall type thinking again, right? That's my goal anyways, you know. I'm going to put up your socials one more time and I'm going to let you get on with your evening. Dude, I cannot thank you enough for
you so much
for coming on here.
Oh, thank you guys for having me on here. I do want to throw it out there real quick. Sure. If your viewers love to hear and learn about different perspectives on various topics, especially Bigfoot and cryptids in general, I think they're going to really love and enjoy what I'm going to be uploading this week on my YouTube channel. Yep. It's associated with my new series, Bigfoot Explorers. Yep. So be on the lookout for that. It may be coming up within the next couple of days, but I will post it. I may set it as a premiere as I did with the first episode. But to hear a Native American's perspective and point of view and how deep they dig into what we do. This gentleman also has some really cool Bigfoot sighting experiences he had since he was a young teenage boy. So, and he shared them with me tonight. I've heard them before on my podcast, but he actually shared them when I was filming him earlier today. So be on the lookout for that. Again, Bigfoot Explorers. It's the beginning of a new series, and it's only going to be found on my YouTube channel. That again, yes, it actually will be distributed on other platforms with the network I'm working with. So that's something to be on the lookout for. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited just to do the editing and put these films out there for everybody. So
yeah, no, and we're excited for them, man. And everybody here should be excited for them. Go over to Bigfoot Zone on YouTube and check them out. And I'm going to be posting stuff as well, Daniel. I mean, as you can see, we do well with our promotions, but it's not just about the show. It's the promotion of a fellow researcher that's passing out information and distributing that information. I don't care what happens on the back end as far as what you need to do as far as success and all that stuff is great. But the research is amazing. And to be able to put it out there on that type of platform, you all should be hungry for that type of aspect of this, where you want to have this conversation. You want to hear that conversation. You want to see those things. And check them all out. You got Facebook, ECBRO. On Facebook, it says Daniel, and it's already on the screen, man. It's been up for a long time. So there's no excuse not to get over and follow everything that Daniel's doing and all the hard work and the good research that he's doing and bringing to the field and the good vibe that he's bringing, man. We got to have a good vibe in this field. We can't just continuously shit on each other. It's not going to work like that. Ultimately, no one really gives a shit if you found it. They're just jealous that they didn't. So that's just the way it is.
Right. But, another thing, too, about my annual event that I host here in Virginia. I've had people tell me, why don't you bring in this celebrity or that celebrity? I say, people are not learning nothing from a celebrity. Yep.
Yeah.
I bring in boots on the ground researchers. Some of these people never heard of.
Yeah.
But these people have knowledge. They have experiences. I want them to bring that to the table because people need to learn more about that. A lot of these big time conferences and festivals, they put their focus on the entertainment and what could draw a crowd in instead of the educational side of things. Because there's a lot of boots on the ground people out there that don't get recognition. I mean, not that they're seeking it, but they have stuff that people need to hear. Why bring in the same people and hear the same thing every year? You're not learning nothing. So what? Get their autograph. Move on. Go learn something.
You're right, dude.
Amen, bro.
Yeah, he's like one of us talking. I love this shit.
I mean, I used to be more bold and blunt, but you
can be anytime on here. Do it, bro. Do it.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Over the years, it frustrates me because I get an okay crowd at my event, but it doesn't get the 10 to 20, 30,000 people that these entertainment festivals put on because they bring in the same mountain people or the same university professor. I mean, these are great people. The educational people they bring in, that's great, but I mean, how much are you going to learn from them year after year? I mean, there's people out there that want to hear about an actual experience. Where did it take place? What did they look like? I do bring an educational side of my thing. When I do a presentation, yes, I point out different perspectives and views and share my conclusions on things. But I will share stories. I'll share, and do the best of my ability. I'm not perfect, but I want people to know I'm about spreading awareness, and informing the misinformed. That's what I'm about. So.
Yeah, I love it, dude. I love it. Right. Well, just like us when we do our presentation, man, we get into that educational part of it, man. We try to teach, and even on our lives, a lot of people will say, I love Jaws over others because not only was it funny, but it was serious research and it was educational.
Yes.
And it's not educational in the way that we were like, we know this, you should listen to us. I'm a teacher of this. You are a student. That ain't what we mean. You're seeing it live as it's happening. We're learning it together. And people on the side are actually throwing in their thoughts and opinions and theories. And it's nice because then you can just mix up this big alphabet soup and try to get something that's more plausible, maybe even higher than just a hypothesis. You're not an educated guess for those that don't know. But, maybe it's not. Maybe it's above that even. You know what I mean? So, that's what we're talking about. For me, when we're speaking educational, I think it's so huge because then you can learn how to research respectfully. You can learn and understand that nothing is wrong. You can hang lemons from a fucking tree, man. Nobody's mad. Nobody should be shitting on you for it. Do what you got to do. Okay. That's the bottom line. And the other thing that goes right through is, that ain't the one like the one I saw. Oh, yeah, that's right. Because, there's probably only one of them anyways, and he's just walking around the United States back and forth. If not, he's like a blue jay. They all look the fucking same and don't know when the shit's coming out. You know what I mean? Like, come on, guys, smarten up. This is more
the one that gets me is the one that gets me is the people that interact with them daily, but have nothing to show for it.
That guy. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Feeling
There's a lot
other people's investigations, and they're going to try to take credit for it. That's why they get these numbers and whatever at these paracons, things like that. Oh, yeah. But why don't you go to the source themselves? Go see Daniel Benoit. Go see BanterWithRichieB. Go see
Benoit.
Yeah. Benoit.
Benoit. I'm in the Benoit. I'm Team Benoit.
All right. I'm Team Benoit.
Yeah. Team Android versus Team iPhone again.
You deserve the credit. You deserve the number.
Yeah, putting that work in.
Get the word out.
And one last thing. When you go with a boots on the ground researcher coming to your festival, and he's going to have the research is going to evolve in those 365 days. If he's really out there as much, in that 365 day span, Wojo and I are, once, sometimes twice a week. And we've even done 3 to 4 times in a week. So, we've been in a lot. So our research has evolved. Our thoughts and theories and educated opinions have actually changed over the year and a half that we've been doing this. So when you have somebody that has a script and they say that all the time, they collect their check and then they leave, that's all you're going to get. If you get, like you're saying, is brilliant idea that you've got guys like us that we're out there all the time. Like, what did you find this year? well, I found this, that, and this and that, and my theory is this, that, and this and that. And you go to the other one, what'd you find this year? Oh, plane tickets and hotel rooms. You know what I mean? So it's like, and that's the bottom. No, I'm not trying to be mean, but that's
you're right.
That's the sad difference in the world. Because I sit there and look and I go, really, three times in a month, really? You know what I mean? So, what's the name of your festival, brother?
The annual ECBRO Virginia Bigfoot Conference and Family Festival.
Awesome. So, is there a set location for it? Does that change?
It happens every year in Wares Cave, Virginia. But Wares Cave is WEYER. Wares Cave, awesome. Virginia. Yeah. So then I have the event website, the VABigfootCon.com.
Yep.
And then I have the Facebook event page for it as well. So
awesome. So the bottom line is this: you guys all got to keep an eye on this dude, okay? So you talk about keep climbing. He's climbing, right? He's trying to do his thing. He wants to get out there and do this full time. He wants to, like me and Wojo have been talking to you guys about lately. It's time for us to kind of spread our wings and get out in the woods more often and be out there a lot more. You know what I mean? So there's things that we're doing in order to make that happen, and these things here, but they all have passion behind it. It's all about the research always, So, this is the dude you want to follow. So I want you guys to make sure you follow him, stay with him. Obviously, if you're following me and Wojo, you're going to see some of his stuff because I love sharing it. And you, my friend, congratulations on being the first ever guest commercial on a podcast. It wasn't just a thumbnail, sir. Not for you. No. I had to think out of the box. I said he's going to bring that mindset. I'm going to bring something to the table. And I went to my producer and said, I don't want just a thumbnail. I want a commercial advertising what this dude has put into this work. And that's what we did. And now we're staying with him. We're going to keep him forever because a thumbnail gets like 300 views. This one's over all the formats, over 3,000 views. Yeah. So it's nice. So we've kind of evolved, right, with the research. So thank you for making me work over here. I appreciate that. So Jason Kenzie's got one coming out very soon. The Jason Kenzie guest commercial will be sometime this week coming up. We'll have that out there live all around. We ask you all to share it. Get it out. It's about one particular episode, just like tonight, as you saw all over the internet, was the guest commercial for our guest tonight, Daniel Benoit. I like that better. Sounds more iPhone-ish, right, guys? Isn't that cool? Winning! Dude, you are absolutely awesome. We want you in our family. We want you to stick around and be part of what we do because we believe, especially after speaking to you, that we're doing the same thing with the same vision, man. And we just love having you. Congratulations on all your hard, kick-ass work. And thank you so much for bringing it to the Banter with RichiebB podcast. We are all privileged this evening for having you, bro. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Definitely
appreciate everything.
Everybody on the side, I love you all. You guys rock, man. I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. Absolutely kick-ass. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and, of course, YouTube, right? Hit that notify button because we will be going live back to the Gifting Chair. If you're on that YouTube channel, go check out some of the old episodes. Check out the journey of the Gifting Chair. You know what I mean? Check out the sounds of the Gifting Chair. Check those things out. Those have evidence in them that are not just shared here on the podcast, but there's other live events that we've collected those pieces of evidence. So we're all about sharing with you guys. We're all about the research. We thank you again, Daniel, for being here. Baby Jack, Daddy loves you. I love you, Mama. Wojo, get us out of here because that's what you do.
That's right. Hey, thank you all for being on here. Thank you, Mr. Benoit. And yes, we are home of the boom. Yeah.